Baby, we can always run. I don't need a home when I'm with you. We can do it one by one. Feeling like the start of something
It's going to be a pretty good game tonight as we have Rizards versus Silly Ducks for our lower bracket semi-finals. And I'm excited to see some great Siege. Now, I am unfortunately going to be solo casting for this stream, which is very unfortunate because we did have our co-caster lined up, but some issues have rocked up and we aren't able to get in contact with them, which is fine. I'm happy to cast by myself. I will try and entertain you all as much as I can, but we do have some pretty good lineups coming in here. Silly Ducks are bringing in the old Tingus Daddy, Bulk Zips Error, as Clear Tie, and Ticked Off. Now, these girls are fighting to try and get into that next part of the lower bracket to be able to make it into that grand final. But the same is said for Rizards, with Doki, Gasai, Cass, Aurea, and Fluff also hungry to make that next step to get into the finals for that good old grand final matchup. Now, we did have our game last night, and it was quite an entertaining one, as these teams have continuously given us great siege, and they are going to continue to give us great siege. Now, the overall Esoteric stepped up and went into the next line, as 7 Raccoons unfortunately lost to them. So Esoterics moved on to the next round for our brackets here, and they did it pretty well from what I saw in last night's game. Now, over to our maps, with the map bands looking quite interesting. Sorry, some technical issues there. The first maps were Cafe, Consulate, Bank, and of course Border being the first 4 that are banned out, with a very surprising pick being Fortress being brought in for this one, and then Chalet being the next pick. Then you've got Clubhouse and Lair being banned out for the last 2 to have our decider being Nighthaven Labs. Now, that's quite an interesting lineup of some maps here. Chalet, I'm not too surprised by, but a bit of a Fortress. This is one of our not so high picked maps, but it's going to be good to see another round of Siege on it. And with Nighthaven Labs being the decider, I'm hoping that we get to that third map, but we're going to see how it goes. When it comes to seeing who's going to win and who's going to lose, it's going to be a hard choice, as both of these teams are hungry. As I myself want to see some good Siege. I'm hoping that our teams are ready to go with this next round of the Siege. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get figured out on what's the go here. Now, there is some lineups that are going to be watching. You've also got a few players that are very ratty in their style, of the Tingus Daddy, or Cortari, as she is formerly known. She likes to hide in her corners, being a slithery little snake in the corners, but the rest of the girls, they have played against her more times than not. They will try and find her rat spots, but it's always hard to find a sneaky snake hiding in a certain area. But the siege will be underway very, very soon. Now, I'm wondering if we can get a poll put up into our chat to see who you think is going to win tonight and who you think might be losing and moving down to that next lower bracket sort of section for our competition here. Overall, I think it's going to be a very close matchup. There's going to be some high fragging potential for some of these players, but there also is going to be some very smart and tactical plays coming out by some of these teams, as they've had this whole season to really prep for these last few games to try and get in for our AWL Season 1 Grand Final and the prizes that are available. Oh, they're looking quite good for these players. But we shall see as soon as our teams are ready to go, and then we will be able to get the siege to you as soon as possible. Now, some of the bans and picks I'm interested in seeing will be most likely a bit of a ace ban, being the top one that's banned usually in these sort of esports or high-end competitive style games. Ace tends to be the first one banned off, but Mirror is also the number one defensive ban that is done as well. But another ban that I would like to see is probably something like your mute, so it allows your drones to be able to get through. But on the attacking side, I wouldn't mind seeing, well, we get the BB and the mute as the first few bans. I am instantly incorrect with the picks that I thought of. But you never know, the Mirror and the Ace might be the next few bans that'll come out into this next round. As the next ones are Ace and Azami. That leaves Mirror up on the board. It'd be interesting to see if the teams take advantage of this and can utilize her gadget to the best. But these lineups are looking quite spicy with the Bandit, the Soulless, the Legion, the Smoke, and the Thunderbird for the defenders here. And the Zofia, Thatcher, Striker, Sens, and Blitz coming out onto the attackers here. You have good old Qatari on that Blitz. Now, we'll see if her shield play is as good as it was in the past, or if she's gotten better, or even more rusty. As the first round for our lower bracket finals is underway, as we head over to the bathroom, and this site is a very loved but also hated site by me, because there is the long angle that you can get through bathroom all the way onto your rotate, but that's if your team doesn't alert you on it. But hopefully we see out from these players a lot of potential communications, allowing them to really cut off the angles that these attackers are wanting. Barbed wire going down on the set of stairs that I find to be a very underused set of stairs, to be honest. Not very used too much, but the attackers are going to be looking to come from the interesting push coming straight up. Nah, Ticked Off is pushing all the way to the top of the roof to make sure that they can get any and all of these potential gadgets opened up. Looks like it might be a push straight into the main door of Horse, as we do see the first down of Az, but Aurea being taken out by Qatari here, and a grenade goes out. That is your Blitz off of the board, but can't seem to find the second one on Az, as she is still down. Nara being taken out, and there is Cass finding a second on to Claire. That is not good for Silly Ducks on the first round. It's only been a minute into this first round. You got Bolxips and Az, the last two alive, in a 2v4 with one of their players being literally a one shot away from death. But we'll see how they can go about this push with only two of them left. Gasai holding a very close angle with the shotgun. Doki being taken out, then Gasai finding the kill back. It's a 1-for-1 trade here. As still downstairs, trying to find the stairs to get up and find the bomb site. But unfortunately, there is a minute 18 and you've got Fluff very close by. And that is the first round down to the Rizards. No, not a very comfortable push for the Silly Ducks there, as Rizards looked very comfortable in their hold, finding those first few picks. And taking away that shield operator is a very strong pick that you need to do to be able to slow down your opponent's push. On to round 2 to dormitory and the games room. A more comfortable pick for most teams here, as it's a bit more spacious. You're allowed to have your swings, allowed to have your defensive setups, and you don't have to worry about any attacking angles to deny you where you want to go or what you want to hold.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Loading new mag.
But the lineups are looking pretty solid here for both of these teams, as the defense has gone with the Mozzie.
Reloading. Deploying shield.
And then we've got the Smoke, the One-Eye, the Warden, and Bandit to finish off this lineup for the defenders here. But the attackers going with the usual Ash, Flores. No, the Flores switching off to the Thatcher here, and the Ash being switched onto the Flores. But you've also got the Striker, the Thermite, and the Buck to finish out your attacking.
Loading mag. Device set.
Now, is it going to be a more straightforward push, or are they going to go for a sweep across one side of the building and find a gap to get a good pressure on this side? As it looks like a lot of the defense is going to be spread out over into the bathroom hall and bathroom itself, and potentially one sitting at the top of the spiral stairs here. As Ticked Off and the rest of our team is looking for the main wall breach. But Fluff giving the info, letting their team know that they might be outside of the window of dormitory. But the skeleton key opens up the wall for a good angle. Ash just firing a few pop shots, just seeing if anybody is there. Nothing in the round yet, as a minute has gone past. Silly Ducks are still trying to find their angle to get in and try and find a plant spot, or find some kills potentially. As we do see Ticked Off finding the first attack, doesn't find the kill. Cass finding a good headshot onto her, but the first thermic charge does open up a bit more of that wall. And Fluff still holding this window, waiting for a potential victim to jump through it. Az is holding onto the window as well, but Cass does the swing, doesn't quite notice anybody. Now, Az might go for in the jump here, which will give Fluff that opportunity to find the kill. Does get a bit of info, knowing that somebody is sitting on that door on the mattress. But nothing is coming out of it. Az going for a wide swing. Cass is holding, but Az finds the head. That's the first kill for Silly Ducks with a minute left in the round. Riz is looking very comfortable, as Docky is down and finished off by Az as well. But does she find Fluff for the next kill, or is Fluff going to frag her out back here for a trade? As Claire getting taken down. Az swinging in, finding a third kill for a triple here. Ting is finding in 4. It's now a 3v1, could be a 4v1 if the pickup comes out, which is in a very comfortable spot. Kasai still in a comfortable area, has good angles to be able to hold both sides. Does finish off Claire, but defuse is not in anybody's pocket. They've still got to try and get it back, as Az finds the defuse, goes for a plant now. And Kasai doesn't quite hear it, but is going to be trying to pressure some sort of potential push here. Does jump into dormitories. Az sitting on a good angle. Kasai finds the kill. Still a 2v1. But Kasai has been here before. They've been in these clutch situations, but when you're going up against Kotari with a DMR, it's not a good day. Especially on those long angles. It was looking like a comfortable defense there for Rizard, but as finding those first few picks and then jumping in and finding the swing onto the third one really cleaned it up for the Silly Ducks there to be able to find that push, that initial take that they needed to do to secure the round for themselves.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Changing mags. I'm reloading.
Fortified wall!
Setting deterrent.
Place device!
Swapping mags. Device activated.
Swapping mags.
Adding some protection from grenades.
Silly Ducks taking a slow approach.
All right. Yeah. There we go. I just popped into out of nowhere. Apologies for the late, I guess you could say, intrusion, but Broken Mind. We're taking a look at Fortress, right? One of the newest maps added to Rainbow Six Siege here, and I gotta ask, this is just a bit of subjectivity, but what do you think about Fortress?
Well, playing the original Fortress and then playing this updated one, I do find the updated one a bit more of a bit of a slow grow to the likeness of it. But the old Fortress, everybody still misses it. I enjoyed it. I did miss it back in the day, but I'm good on them bringing it back with a bit of a tweak to it here and there.
Yeah, 100% agree. Bit of a swing here by AZ, gonna get mowed down by Fluff, and an opening here by Rizard. So, good beginning, you get rid of that striker, but Silly Ducks, they still have plenty of utility. They're gonna be pushing from this old tower side, and ticked up, starting to feel a bit of the heat when wanting to enter. And again, Silly Ducks, they kind of traverse themselves into a one-dimensional angle where Rizard just have to watch this one doorway, and there's gonna be no way of them going through.
Definitely, as Rizards, they've been looking comfortable on their defense for the first few rounds, but Silly Ducks did find those first picks from Az in the last round. Unfortunately, she's taken out this time. They don't have that angle held to be able to get a bit of a pinch angle, but we do see the wall being breached onto the games to try and give a different angle on those stairs. We do see the next kill coming by Cortari or Tingus Daddy.
Yeah, that's a good way to get yourself back on your hind legs, but Stillman disadvantage, throwing flashes. Hopefully, gonna get themselves established within 25 seconds. Smoke babes are out. Smokes from the attacking side. But again, just Rizard have been so overwhelming in this round, and they need to watch two angles. A bit of just random shots into these smokes, hoping they can catch a player off guard, because the entry from the attackers here is looking bare minimum and almost impossible, it seems like. Now the Gumine inside this Thermite's foot, caught by Gashai. Another one falls, and just like that, Silly Ducks, I don't think there's a way out of this one.
Definitely not, as Rizards looked very comfortable with that hold, finding a 1, 2, and 3 to finish out the round. But Tingus did a good job finding one back, but unfortunately it wasn't the kill that you need to win the round for Silly Ducks.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean... Yes, sorry.
I was going to ask you about the bands. What did you think of the bands? We've got the Blackbeard, the Mute, the Ace, and the Azami as the first 4 bands.
How I look at this map, at least personally, again, it is still somewhat in development and hasn't been quote-unquote figured out as somewhat like Clubhouse, but I feel like this is a map similar to Bank. It's very utility dependent, so you're going to want to get rid of your smokes, your Tachankas, your Grims, Senzes, and such. It is also that Blackbeard ban, which I'm loving, or rather Rizard. The 8, I don't feel like it's going to make such a drastic change. The floors makes a decent amount of sense. But overall, the bans seem alright. Again, the mute and smoke bans are something that has been quite debated online. It's basically like, yeah, they're the most flexy operators, but I don't feel like they make as drastic of a change when going up against them face to face on the attacking side as someone like an Izami, someone like a Thorn would. But overall, I don't think it's anything too far from default, so hey, we roll with it.
Definitely. Now, going back onto that Mutant Smoke, Mutant Smoke, they have that good combo of the SMG as well as the shotgun, so you can create your rotates. You've got a good gun that you can take fights on a medium to potentially a long range, depending on how good you are with the SMG. I'm not so good myself, but I do like my medium range gunfights. I'll take those any day of the week. But just having those extra util of being able to create the rotates, and then the mute jam is denying a lot of the info for the drones, the smokes being able to deny those really quick executes, as we did see the Silly Ducks try and do in that last round, and now you're getting rid of that. Now you can go for your quick executes, you can do your smoke plants, you can just rush in, get into the smoke and get your defuse down. It's going to be interesting to see how this really change up.
Yeah, Silly Ducks are bringing out a bit more execution utility as well, right? We have Tinker's Daddy now on that glass, which is somewhat of an operator you want to be afraid for. That's why Rizard also bring that precautionary Warden, because again, on a map like this, Yings, Smokes, Glasses, they can be easily expected. If you bring that Warden, you discourage the enemies from bringing such operators. But Silly Ducks, they double down. They bring Tinker's Daddy, put him on the Glass, and I'm wondering how that type of counteract is going to work out, especially when going for the execution, which Silly Ducks, as you mentioned in the previous round, already proved they like going for those last-second executes. And I don't know, I'm hoping Silly Ducks make a bit of a faster move.
Definitely is. There is a bit of a close angle hold here by Cass, and it is your Thermite that's going to try and do the first swing. Very interesting pick here, but you've got the Buck backing him off as Ticked Off tries to swing, tries to find the kill onto that. Now the bomb site is just in sight. If they wanted to take it, they can, but they need to get the drones and info in as Cass finds the kill. That is your Buck off the board.
Oh, Fluff to follow. AZ gone, and Silly Ducks, 2 players down. Rizards once more, overwhelming the attackers that they want to enter, but there's no retake. Comfortability, Sting is going to find Fluff, and all of a sudden, Plant going down. This might be the tie turner here for Silly Ducks.
Was the C4, looks like it was going underneath, but Bulk finds the kill onto Cass here. It's now a 2v3 as the next one goes down by Tinger's Daddy. It's now a 2-on-2. A 1v2 for Rizards here as Bulk Zips and Tingus are looking very comfortable with their holds.
Doggy just from beneath those tower stairs has a 1v1, but time is ticking against her. That's the difficulty you want to kind of surpass again. It's the pressure just starting to loom above you. As 10 seconds, you're going to need to get this kill within 3, and I don't think time is going to be of mercy. This is good by the Snake and just lay down, waste time, and I mean, this is a round confirmed by Silly.
Definitely. A bit of a sneaky Snake play here by Bulk Zips as Silly Ducks take it to a 2-2 on Fortress here, on round 5 being the next one to come up, and I wonder if they're going to go downstairs or if it's going to still be an upstairs hold here, as it's been mainly just those second floor bomb sites.
Yeah. I mean, those return me to those good old days of ranked where you would just play the top floor. Nothing else would be touched, but again, on Fortress, these are the 2 more dominant sites, undoubtedly. And Rizards, it's also a thing of testing your enemies. They have seen how Silly Ducks play on these upper floors, and I think they feel comfortable now going back to them, returning to the same good old hold where they can also adapt to the attack that previously unfolded.
Definitely. Now, Speaking back on
Guys need
ranked,
to locate and defuse as many bombs
what
as
do
they
you
can.
potentially see as a sort of rank pick, and what's a competitive pick in sort of bomb sites and the way that you should play them?
All set. Bench deployed.
As in Fortress specifically.
Yeah, we can go with Fortress. Maybe the 2-floor compared to the 3-floor bombs.
Okay. I'll be honest. From my ranked experiences, everyone bans Fortress. But I feel it's a chalet situation for me. You hold your upstairs, you extend towards mezzanine. Somewhat similar here. You hold this upstairs, you still have to be careful of your windows, of people getting real close to sight, pushing main stairs, pushing your tower. But overall, this extension, or actually, instead of chalet, imagine villa. Imagine statuary, where everyone just goes into aviator, into study, so they can delay the push from the attackers around there for as long as they can. That's how I imagine this top floor on Bathroom for Fortress.
Yeah, I do see that. Now, compared to something like your Fortress being banned a lot, I do see a lot of the Lair being banned. Even though I
Yes.
find it to be a very fun map, it's got a lot of tactics, a lot of brain behind it that you need to do, as we do see the first gunfight between Fluff and Az. These two have been going at it during this whole game, and it's been always a 1-for-1 so far.
Nice placed.
For now, again, Rizard's just really good at wasting time. That is something we have to give commiserations for. It's silly ducks who always find themselves with a difficulty posed to them as how to actually enter the building. Rizards have all this set up, the shield right now, the electricity on a wall that isn't even near sight, and it just shows how important this extension towards dorms actually is.
Definitely, as we do see Fluff getting droned out by Az here, but Az bringing out the shotgun, doesn't have a rifle up to be able to take the swing here. And a lot of this push is still being slowed down, a lot of a slow take, but Doki finding the first kill onto Ticked Off, and that is your Ash off the board. That is your breaching potential gone.
Soft breach is now gone. AZ gonna return the fire towards Cass's way. You get rid of that bandit. No more tricking, but again, the bandits, or rather the batteries, have already been shut down, so an equalization for now. Snake starting to track down Kakai. Currently, just things have settled down between the two teams, but I think this is where things are going to change. Doki just brutal in this round.
Definitely. Now, that gun is a very lethal one as Gasai finds another kill, and that is your Thatcher off the board with just your Thermite and Snake left. Now, the Snake trying to find a gunfight, trying to find a position for them to secure another kill, as this is still a 4v2. And in the hallway, you do have somebody that's just prone on the ground, but they will get found out by the Snake as Tingus finds the kill on to your Lucy.
And the final two by Silly Ducks trying to make a last-ditch effort. They find the dying onto Doki. Down but not fully out. Their entrance now just being a very, very steep downhill run. And Fluff is going to find them both in ease and close another round here. The defense thriving.
Definitely is, as Rizards are still looking very, very comfortable with their defense here. But Silly Ducks, they aren't pushing aggressively, which is, they're not noticing that there's so much space for them to take. If they took that space, they probably would find a lot of these cutoff angles that they can potentially have. And it would really throw Rizards off if they were a bit more aggressive on certain angles. But in saying that, Rizards are doing very well on sort of backing each other up, making sure that they have that second person to trade, as well as not just taking the single gunfight.
I do wonder where the meme, or rather the name, how creative do you have to be to make the name Rizards? I'm loving this, you know, it's my first time casting here, and Rizards is something I have never thought could be manufactured as a team name. And the icon kind of reminds me of it's a meme. It's a lizard pushing down a button. It certainly
Yes.
seems similar to that. You can see it, right?
Yes, that was where it all began, was the lizard meme that came out, and they were like, oh, why don't we just go Rizards, just put a bit of flavor on it. But one thing you will notice out of this whole sort of rostering and everything is that there are 3 animal-based teams and 1 that isn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we got ducks, we got Rizards. What's the third one?
Yes. 7 raccoons in a trench coat. Yep. You gotta watch out for those raccoons.
Who said Shakespeare was dead? Am I right?
Definitely. As these girls, they know how to play their words. They do very well with it.
No doubt there, but it's the last round of the first half. Silly Ducks now have an opportunity to tie the score while Rizard trying to possibly distance themselves towards a 4-2 split heading into the second for a more comfortable attacking side. And now we get to see that Thorn also pop up. A bit more traps, including the Frost as well from Rizard, which Silly Ducks I don't think have been too keen on playing against, or rather they haven't been used to playing against so many traps, so they're going to have to take that into account going into this last round of the first half.
Definitely, as we do see a bit of a change up going for the Silly Ducks lineup. They've now brought in that Capitao. That's going to be allowing you a lot of those smoke plants, a lot of your executions that you need to do, but it also, you can cut off a lot of the swings with those flame arrows. You can now slow down the defender's potential pinch onto your planter, but it's still down to, do you have the angle? Can you get into position to be able to put those arrows in the right spot? And the IQ underneath, you're going to find a lot of gadgets.
Target's ready. Let them come.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Right now, Silly Ducks sitting in Old Tower still have Doki roaming and looming below, which, again, Doki has already shown what an absolute menace they can be, especially in the previous round with her double that basically allowed Rizard to have such an ease going towards that ending. But for now, Silly Ducks, again, it's that same problem. It's just transferring themselves over towards that next step. They're trying to sacrifice a couple of Capital bolts, which are being denied by utility. And Doki, speaking of the devil, she has found Ticktoff, and that's the opening already.
Definitely, as it's coming down to try and get rid of this one shield that's sitting over in this very, very tight corner of the vending machine outside of the bomb site. It's always one that I get annoyed by, as Aurea finding the kill onto Tingus. That is your Capitao off of the board. As we were saying, they have a very crucial role on trying to cut people off as Aurea is sitting in that corner, but you've still got 3 players versus 5 as Cass has taken a bit of damage, but Az takes a bit of a swing. The nade goes out, unfortunately drops at her feet, and that is an unfortunate death.
Salt to the wound. Just unfortunate and a nasty angle here by Fluff. As Silly Ducks, again, just backed up against the wall. There's not much that can be done here. 2 players against 5 is the very bare minimum. They have a breach open, but there's no utility remaining. And the final 2 players separated as well. And Rizards are going to take that as an opportunity to mow another one down. Now it's just the Snake in a 1v4. 15 seconds counting down, no diffuser. Case has gone cold, and there's a shotgun right around the corner going for one swing. The second, can we get a third time's the charm? On a distance, and Gasai will close out the 6th round.
Wasn't third time a charm, but it was the 4th, and she did find the kill to secure the 4-2 lead for Rizards here. And Silly Ducks, they just weren't looking comfortable. They were looking a bit, as their name implies, a bit silly on their pushes here. Couldn't quite find the angles that they need to get those grenades, get the Flores drones, and potentially get the flame arrow to find Aurea on that Thorn sitting on that vending. It was very unfortunate for them, but that's just how some of your attacks go as we switch over to the Silly Ducks defense now, as the Mirror and the Ace are the first few bans.
All right. The Ace, again, it's the most common ban. You want to kind of remove that privilege of being safe when you're throwing your hard breach utility, but the Mirror is something that I feel like could have been utilized by Rizard. As we remember, I don't think she was banned in the first half.
No, she was not. She was all up on the board, but they felt comfortable enough that they didn't need her for their lineups, and they were comfortable enough that they didn't need her. Playing a lot of the more aggressive style with the 3 trap op in that last round, and then the first few rounds were played with the Warden. You're playing against a lot of those smoke plays and everything like that. Unfortunately, Fluff didn't find the kill onto the one round she needed to, which is onto Tingus with the Glaz, but other rounds she did her job. She got the kills. She secured the round for her team.
That is true. We go through the second wave of bans, and something that Rizard were using for the entirety of their own first half, and seemingly don't want to use it against them, is going to be that Bandit, which You know, you get a Thatcher on the attacking side, you get a Thermite, and there is not a single operator that can trick your breach, unless the defenders forcibly pull out a Tubarão, which Silly Ducks are not willing to do right now, so Rizards, with that ban, have secured themselves a much, much easier way of traversing this map when it comes down to breaches alone. As we go down to Silly Ducks, though, the lineup currently is finalized, and we see that Scopos now in play, which again, with how heavy this site tends to lean in towards roaming, I think is a great pick.
Definitely, as we do see the Thorn being chosen for the first round here for Silly Ducks defense. Now, it wasn't until the last round for Rizard's defense that Thorn was sort of that thought process for them, but here Silly Ducks are like, no, we want to take it out in the first one, and we want to slow down the potential attacker's push. But you've also got the Azami and the Smoke. Those are some potential sort of lockdown operators, as you can create one angles for yourself, or one ways as they're formerly known, and then you've also got the Smoke to slow down the executes, as we were saying in the first half. But these attackers are looking very comfortable with their lineup as well.
Oh, that got close. Tingus Daddy right downstairs wanting to, again, just set up for a nice flank if it were to be needed later on. It does seem like Fluff caught her via drone or just wanted to open that window for an entry herself. Whatever the case, I am liking the adaptation by the side of Rizard. They saw that there's no Tubarão from the defensive, meaning that they really don't need more than impact EMPs, so why not bring along a shield? While though the Blackbeard is one of the better shields, he doesn't carry impact EMPs. He can't help that Thermite go for breaches, while though the Monty, on the other hand, he is very much capable of doing exactly that.
Definitely. Now, I myself am a Montaigne connoisseur. I do like to run my Monty myself, but but it all comes down to how your team plays. Are you going to be playing together? As Kasai, she's putting herself on a bit of an island. The rest of the team isn't swinging or trying to find these angles that she needs a bit of support with, but she's comfortable in it. She's going to keep peeking, trying to find the killers. Bulks finds the kill onto Cass, but then Kasai finds the kill onto Az. That is your Zami gone. That is your keeper barriers out of play. But Fluff finding another kill on the other side of the map.
Ting is down as well. If we don't get that pickup, Silly Ducks might be in for a bit of trouble. With the Thermite gone now, this at least means that the breaches will not be allowed. Silly Ducks prioritized their operation selection when it came down to murder quite nicely. They got rid of that and the Grim Execution Operator alongside, just to kind of add a thorn to the side of Rizard, especially how they're going to move forward. The Monty has somewhat done his job. Seems like he's been able to track down the Thorn, who was right next to being picked up as well, and that just has to sting.
Definitely is. Now you've got ticked off trying to find the next gunfight, but Docky finding a good swing as the flash goes out. And now you got Claire stuck in a 1v3 situation. Now I'm never very comfortable with these sorts of situations myself as a player, but we do have the opportunity for players for really showing their skill, as unfortunately the C4 rip gives the sound cue for a Docky swing again.
It's starting to sound like a tragedy, the Doki swing. I mean, it has been quite effective. Even though she hasn't gathered kills, I feel like her kills have been so detrimental. They have been extremely, extremely pivoting for Rizard to move forward. And now, what stands, we have about 6 kills on her, which is not the most in the lobby. But again, I feel like her kills have been just effective. They've been something that has really thrown Silly Ducks off guard. But it's a 5-2 now, and unbroken. I mean, one more round, Rizard are standing on match point.
And definitely, but you can't count Silly Ducks out, as these girls, they've been in a situation, they have put their foot in the door to block the other team from getting that winning round, and it's down to who is the more confident in their gun skills. Currently, it's looking like Rizards, but Silly Ducks do have some fraggers. We've seen Tingus Daddy, she's done her swing, she's gotten her kills, and the rest of the roster can do it. They just need to get into their groove. Like Bulk Zip, she can get there, she just needs to get her groove underneath her. As she's done a few kills, she's unfortunately just not finding the rest of her what she needs to, but she can pop off when she is needed to for her team.
Now, Silly Ducks, though, if there's ever a moment you want to step up your game, it's right now. It's denying that match point which matters. I'm also liking that we get to see the Scopos punch, which wasn't added that long ago. It was a bit of a buff she gained, similar to Aruni, which I think is a great addition. You know, it's basically a robot. You might as well.
Well, definitely. Big metal arms, I wouldn't see them not punching a hole through a wooden wall like that.
100%. Now, Rizard, they're going to go for the same. I mean, Silly Ducks, same site, Rizard, they won the previous round. They don't need to change anything if nothing was broken.
Definitely, as it looks like it's going to be a bit more of an extension over into the games dormitory side for Silly Ducks here. But you've got to know that Rizards, if they find a gap, they're going to take the gap as quick as possible, especially with the Monte being the main sort of figurehead for your pushes here.
Double droning by Doki and Aria and Fluff. We have 3 drones on the job. There is not an angle that will go unchecked. As AZ with that Azami, the setup here as the extension you mentioned here is also favoring towards a lot of firepower. You have those environmental canisters, you have the Goyo canisters, you have the Azamis. This one is going to be a lot more difficult for Wizards to push on through, but yet again, they do have that Monty to be of the supportive role.
Definitely, as the Kasai is going to be pushing into this games room once more, just taking that main one. But we do find Ticked getting the first kill. That Goyo canister being in a crucial position there for the push. And that's your Monty off of the board. This is big for Silly Ducks here. That's your first pick, and that is quite a crucial pick as well.
Tinger's daddy creeping up those stairs. There's a down and a run out. Gonna get very ambitious, but the corpse is already there, so a bit late to the party, sadly. Gonna set up a go if anyone were to try and jump from where the run out happened. And yeah, Rizard proving to be a difficulty Silly Ducks currently are. Just this entry as you've lost the Monty has completely dwindled down. I mean, again, the Monty allows so much extension without you needing to be at risk. But when you have the utility properly set up as a defender to counter that Monty, this is the right result of it. And currently Rizard, I'd say this is one of the few rounds in a while we've seen them struggle so badly.
And definitely, as Silly Ducks, they get that first pick. They found the second one, and now it's just been a comfortable pick after pick for them. They're slowly falling back to the side. Going to play this turtle as there is 45 seconds left in the round. And a lot of goo mines to go through as well for the team of Rizard. And Silly Ducks are just looking comfortable with how they're held.
Crossfire established around bathroom. Even now, Rizard, yes, Silly Ducks have given off dorms. They've given off everything for them to take. But 20 seconds for an execution is just too little. You have that Brim for a change of pace to the previous round. Right now, what matters is this man count from both these sides, and again, it's just nothing you can do about it. Claire with one, AZ prior, and now just the final one. Shut down, ticked off. No, the deagle in hand. She takes down her teammate and herself by Doki, who tries to put up a valiant effort in the last couple of seconds. But either way, Silly Ducks were bound to win this one.
Well, I'm not too confident in that one, because Doki nearly got the 2 kills she needed, as she did down Nick Ticked Off, but I don't understand a double swing. If you've got only 10 seconds left on the clock, stay hidden. Don't swing, you don't need to. You nearly lost the round for your team there, but luckily enough for the Silly Ducks, they did find the kill and they secured a 3rd round for themselves. As Rizards, they're still that one away from getting to that match point. And Silly Ducks, they're slowly quacking their way onto the backside of Rizards here.
Yeah, it's not impossible just yet. One of the best things I've heard is that each round is individual. No rounds are dependent on what happened previously besides site selection. So right now, this comeback is still very possible. A comeback is always possible in Rainbow Six Siege, and Silly Ducks, they still very much have it. But their upper floor now around bathroom has been removed, meaning they're going to have to move towards games and dormitory. And again, this is a whole new plan. They have not seen Rizards attack here yet, so preparing for something unseen might seem a bit scary. But again, Silly Ducks, how they played it earlier, was nothing short of phenomenal.
Definitely. Now, the lineup for the defenders here, there's been a bit of a change. They've now got the Aruni with the Thorn. The Azami is a definite pick that you need to have on your roster if it's still up on the board. And Ticked Off is going back onto this Goyo. Now, the Goyo worked out really well for them on the last round to find the kill on the Monty, but for the attackers, there's no Monty this time. It's now a Thatcher. So you're safely getting the breach here with the Thatcher Thermite combo, as you did state earlier in this match. But it's all down to how Silly Ducks defend.
The only The only contradictory thing here is that the Thatcher is always needed if there is electrifications or something is jamming the main breach. Silly Ducks brought nothing. I mean, the breach is basically just free for a giveaway. Thermite could walk up to it and breach it with nothing there to deny him of it, so the Thatcher might seem like a bit of a waste. And normally, some would even argue that it's also good to bring a Thatcher if you want to deny C4s going for a smoke plant or anything of the sort, but Silly Ducks don't have anything, so maybe Rizards just didn't catch all the operators and wanted to have a safe bet here in the case that Silly Ducks did bring a Cade, but for now, the Thatcher is going to be set himself in a bit more of a gunning position.
Definitely, like you still got some utility with it, with the Aurora gates, the thorn traps, the one-way discs,
Yeah.
but it's not much of a pick that you should or would be going for if there's no electrifications or anything that's going to deny you from just opening the wall freely, as it is going for Rizzers here. But I don't know if they've noticed it, as they're still going for this backside push. Ticked off, being taken out by Fluff there. That is your Goyo off the board, but it is a halfway through this round already now.
Flav just sticking patient. She waited for Ticktoff to swing and punish. Now, his daddy has been loving these stairs for about the entirety of her defense. Whatever the case, though, Silly Ducks, they're going to back off, give away their space, and even though they have so heavily committed towards holding Old Tower, Rizards, in response, completely ignored. They're going to push from this bathroom side, get themselves breaches around meeting, and towards the main breach, which is not being held through those footholes. Doki pushed up a bit too far, and Tinga's daddy caught her off guard.
Definitely. Now, DMRs, I find, are the DMR crutch era for Siege right now, as most things are being DMRs or nothing in the take here, but she does find a second one onto cast there, but that's only a down. It's not quite a kill. There is potential to pick that player back up and still bring it to a 4v4. But you're going to be on very low health here, as Rizards, they've still got 35 seconds, and they're nowhere near the bomb site right now. As Fluff goes down as well.
Yeah, just that breach being opened by the striker ends up having individuality. Tinga's daddy, an unrelenting force inside this round, wants to finish what she started around that downed player. As for the final two, it's going to be down to Kaz, and it's going to be down to Gasai, trying to push themselves through these hills as the mountain just comes crushing down, and Claire will shut them both out. Silly Ducks with another round, as they stand only one behind Rizards.
Definitely. Now, I should have pre-warned you, with Tinga's daddy, she is a bit of a sneaky snack, as she gets around and finds little prone areas that she likes to hide in, as that angle you did see just then. She likes to prone, get a punch angle, and she'll be able to snipe you as soon as you swing a door. She's, as most Siege players call, a rat.
Yeah, that is the term that everyone normally would use in the random matches, but in the end, this is competitive. This is a league, and all is fair, as long as it's allowed. It's like calling out someone for playing Monty. Hey, they're just doing the best they can to win, and no one should be blamed for it, although it's good angles by Tinga Daddy. I mean, Tinga's daddy has just been doing phenomenally inside this matchup overall.
Definitely. They are one of the crutch players for most teams in this, as they aren't actually officially on a team. They're with our sub pool that we do have throughout this competition, which any team can pick them up for a game, but she is one of those most sought after players because she is, as we say, a very strong player, a very crucial player to some teams' winning formats. A top tier fragger, a top tier rat as well. And she just got a great IQ about the game of Siege and where the maps are. She knows where the best spots are.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
With experience
as they can.
comes result. Tinga's daddy on double digits. Most kills inside this match. Fluff just one behind. Just like Silly Ducks are behind Rizard. Now, we're going to this bottom floor. And Silly Ducks, they've won the both of them upstairs. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we have not seen Cafeteria in play just yet.
No, not a single round on the Rizard side was played downstairs. It was all upstairs and nothing else. But for the Silly Ducks, they've done a good job on playing 2 rounds in a row, securing 2 wins to be able to then take us down to this bottom stairs. But we do see the lineup for this defensive side. It's now including some of the picks that you'd think would be included, like your Fenrir, like your Tachanka, a Rooney, Scopo still being a very crucial pick here. That flank potential, that offside sort of just peer pressure, or the phantom pressure as I like to call it, is a big thing on the defensive side. If you're creating that phantom pressure on your attackers, they're not so confident in doing their executes as quickly as they should.
And Rizard, we're going to set up for a take upstairs. Verticality here is large because Silly Ducks, it's a very awkward site to play. You have all these corridors and hallways with many doors around you as you enter your site, so the attackers shouldn't have too much of a trouble actually just clearing out everything downstairs and approaching the site horizontally. It seems like we're going to have a cheeky attempt here, but will it succeeds? It's gotten close. Gasai just walks away with half of her HP there from that engagement, and the Scopos is letting the attackers know they still have someone to clear above, and it seems like they're already on it.
Definitely is Gasai. She's holding that same angle just in case a second player peeks from it, but they did drone out the Scopos, finding out that she was rotating around through the horse area, but Fenrir, it's still a crucial operator. It needs to stay on the board. Against these players, Silly Ducks are looking confident. They've dropped back to site. They're not so worried about the top floor, but you've got a lot of this potential with the Scopos. As it does get destroyed, you're down to one drone left, and it's downstairs already.
Yeah, like we said, bottom floor very awkward to hold horizontally. Silly Ducks giving up this verticality, though, might start to slowly affect them. Again, all the entrances towards the site are extremely close. You have the medical entrance. You have everything around lobby that's so close to site. So, again, when the Wizards want to approach the site from multiple angles downstairs alone, it's not going to be the difficultest. But getting down towards actually setting up this verticality and getting rid of roamers, now that's another story. As in the meanwhile, a down and a finish as Tinga's daddy, second one to close things out there in that engagement. And yeah, you know, making verticalities isn't free. You still have to be wary of people shooting you back.
Definitely is. Tinga's daddy is one of those players that loves to play the verticality. They love looking up at the sky, finding extra kills, finding potential damage. As Aurea finds a kill back. And again, Tinga's finding a lot of damage onto Doki. That's half of her health almost gone. In a 4v3 situation, you've got the vertical, but now is where you need to push. You've got 15 seconds left, as we do see a lot of those Shamika launchers coming out, denying a lot of this quick execution. They're confused on where to drop.
Wizard?
No
They're
plant's
planting.
going down.
Yep, that's that close confrontation, but one's right around the corner, and yeah, there's not much that can be done. I mean, there was 10 seconds remaining and verticalities were still being established. Even though they did successfully have the plant almost brought down, it's again just a fact of not being able to clear all those players. Silly Duck still on site. And well played by the defenders, especially from the Scopo, especially from that roaming aspect, which constantly applied the so-called phantom pressure you talked about. And well, 5-5 broken. It's looking more and more possible, and not only possible, the comeback has been made.
It definitely has, but it doesn't stop Rizard from having the confidence to be able to go back into this next one, as it is, as you said, the 5-5. And defense has been a crucial thing. Now, I find Fortress is one of those defensive style maps, depending on the bomb site that you take. Upstairs, it's a bit more defensive on your command and your bathroom, but when you go over to that dorms, you've got that one window that holds the way through. You've got the other side of the map. Once you've taken those walls, you get long angles. But it's down to how does your team get those angles? How do you approach it to give yourself that angle? And going up against a team like Silly Ducks, they are comfortable taking those long angle fights because they got the DMRs on your Aruni. You've also got Claire, who's playing on that Cade with the TCSG. And you got the rest of the players. They love gunfights. They want to take the gunfights.
They love their gunfights. And well, we're going to have to see how they can work around them this time. And especially what's going to be the change. Silly Ducks bringing this Goyo, which has worked wonders for them in the prior round we saw on this site. Now the Monty still going to be selected, but it seems like Rizard going with a different lineup. There it is. I was going to say you might want to consider a Twitch, and Cass right on it. Gonna leave this open? No. Reinforce it down to Giznati. She knows her stuff. Silly Ducks now getting prepared for the worst. Because again, Rizards, they've seen the approach of Silly Ducks around this side. Now all they need to do is adapt. And this round, it carries a lot of weight for both of these teams because it's match point on the line.
It definitely is. But we've got a few of these players that are playing out of their minds with Tingus Daddy. She's sitting on 12-6, and then you've got Fluff on the other side sitting on a 10-6. She hasn't found a kill for a few rounds, but once she finds one, she will taste the blood in the water and be hungry for more. Now, the rest of this lineup for both teams, they can pop off. As we did see Claire, she found the double kill in one of the rounds. And you've got Az, she can find those kills. Bulksip, she's doing her job. But you've got Cass, Kasai, and Doki, they're doing their jobs as well. It comes down to, if you're taking a gunfight, are you going to win it, or are you going to play it safe?
Full extension. No Azami to play around as it was banned in the third wave. Now the Monty Kasai just having so much more comfortability roaming through this upper floor and moving her team forward. The Arya gates are going to be a bit of a difficulty, but again, you have utility, you can just chuck at it and extend forward. As going or preparing for a flank that might be detrimental though, and we're still going to have to wait for that to come around. As Tiktov holding the Monty back as the team advances forward. Gasai's side has been shown, and you want to keep that Monty alive, but the impact is going to deny you of it. Rather, it's Claire to finish the job. They need to make that sure that shield is gone. Tiktov swinging again, and Aurea just barely alive with the bare skin of her teeth. As in the meanwhile, it is a brutal battle. Another entry and Doki falls. A second swing here, but punished by Aurea. It is a back and forth leading to a 3v3.
Yes, it's a 3v3, but Aurea, she's taken a lot of damage as she's trying to find an angle from behind here. And a lot of the sound cue has come out. Is she going to take a second swing? But is almost cleaned up by Cass. Falls back, as we did see Fluff almost get a bit of an approach flank angle there to pinch off that swing.
Spotting the Fenrir. Cautionary shots, gonna throw a nade, try and clear her out of her comfort zone. Az has moved to the left. But again, Fluff just not being able to work around this, what looks to be a bit of a hidey hole, or rather a loop-de-daisy. Claire finding Cass elsewhere. That's another one gone off the attack, but turned right back. Fluff with a refrag instantly to catch it. Aurea so low on HP, can't even afford a Gumai, and imagine. And where are we looking, Claire? She's gonna get caught. Aurea as well, now left in the hands of a 1v1 of your best player. A lot of damage Tingus Daddy's way, and this is the fragger match. This is the last two best players on each team going head-to-head.
As Gumine after Gumine's going to find you here. You're not going to be able to catch her. She is running. Oh, but the nade! Oh, no!
Oh, no, that is tragic. Oh, that shouldn't have killed her, I feel like. That was still tucked way too close around that doorway.
That's just unfortunate.
It is. She would have also seen the Legion. She would have been, again, in a bit of a stare off.
Yes. Now that's one of my pet hates is the Legion goo mines. In a 1v1 situation, you can just keep throwing them at the other player and they'll get slowed and take damage and slowly tick over. And unfortunately the time, but a nade to finish it out is a better way to go, I reckon. Killing yourself instead of dying to a Legion goo mine is a better choice. You're not giving the kill over, you're taking it yourself. That's one extra kill for Fluff there, in my opinion.
You're anti-KD saving. That is crazy, but you know what? It's a round for Silly Ducks, and now they've won 4 in a row, I believe it is. Meaning, I mean, Rizard, they somehow have to break this streak. This is just adrenaline pumping through the veins of Silly Ducks currently. They're going off on a streak, and nothing seems to be stopping them as they return to the upper floor once more. They have had almost the second full-side rotation already, and Rizard just not much success again, leaving it all down to Fluff in that previous end game. Oh, that's interesting. I do wonder why pop that environmental canister, which kind of has been helping them in the past.
Yeah, sometimes you pop it because your shield might be a bit too close and it might do the environmental destruction on your shield, but it's down to the players and how they're going to play it. I find it, and you found it to be a sort of interesting choice to pre-destroy it. A lot of standing around talking here.
Yeah. Let's see Rizard, though. Nothing too special when it comes down to their lineup. Their approach, though, matters a lot. We haven't seen them really go towards this old tower side, mostly because Silly Ducks prepares so much utility around it. We saw the shield, probably thorns, F-nats, you name it. Again, Silly Ducks are bringing all the utility they can, because if this round is won, regulation is theirs. They don't need to risk it into overtime. That sounds so much better than Rizard being given a second chance, because we've seen Rizard on their all-time high towards that defensive, right? 4 rounds they also won in a row after Silly Ducks gained their first 2. Just overall, I mean, both these teams are forming a really great rivalry here, but it's so close that I couldn't even predict where it's going to go.
Definitely not. It's coming down to this last round. Is it going to be the OT, or is it going to be the final round for Silly Ducks to secure this first map? Now, I'm feeling a bit of an OT on this one. I'm just getting a vibe that Rizards are going to find the angles that they need to, and Silly Ducks are going to be overconfident in some of their plays.
Yep, let's just hope he didn't cast or curse it. That's all we have to pray for now. But, you know, I'm going to trust your gut instinct. I hope you're right, Broken Mind, because these 2 teams in overtime with them would be just honorary to watch. As now, Rizard, again, similar push as previously. The last time around, Silly Ducks, they extended TikTok towards it, where she did fall to Doki. Not going to make the same mistake, though. She's going to be set elsewhere on that smoke as well, which has been proving to be quite a strong operator inside this matchup.
Definitely is. The first gunfight might be coming out here between Fluff and Az once again. The F-Nut goes primed, ready for that door swing. A lot of pre-firing coming out by Fluff here, but she jumps back out to try and get another angle. As Cass finding the first kill onto Claire. Ooh.
Oh, the Thatcher pushing up as well. Now gonna get swung from a right. Didn't expect Az to move through the rotation. And just a menace on this Fender who does a 360. But Doki punishes her ambition. And now a second to fall. It seems like it's crumbling for Rizard as Silly Ducks have regained man count. Now in a 3v1 almost confirmed. The shotgun will do it by TikTok as she has extended towards bathroom where she once stood. Punished by Doki for overextending as so, and now a 1v2 that needs to be locked if Rizard want to keep themselves alive on Fortress.
Definitely, and it's 2 very tough players that you've got to go through, especially this one on the Legion. But Doki, she has been a player that is known for clutch plays herself, especially on a gun, as this Capitao does go in, but the F-Nut Mine is going to make it a bit of a hard push. You still got to go through the 2 players, one sitting on top of the games and then the other one sitting inside of your dormitory. As she finds the first kill, but has no time to be able to find the second one as Silly Ducks secure the first map of Fortress.
5 rounds in a row to bring it back on the most recent map, renewed on Rainbow Six Siege, and to have themselves on Series Point heading into Chalet. Now that's a statement by Silly Ducks, and honestly, Tinga's daddy there just for a moment. Can we appreciate the fragmentation, just the mechanical giftness from her?
Definitely, she has been a player that I have known in the past of our old Phoenix League as well as the XPWL, which have been 2 female and inclusive leagues that unfortunately they both have gone into the past, and now we're onto our AWL, where she's showing she is still one of the top fraggers. She's still one of those players that you need to watch out for. You need to have every corner droned, every angle known, and she just finds you. She clicks heads. That's all you can say.
She's scary. She will hunt you down if she wants to, and that's something to keep in mind. But overall, it was still a close matchup. And again, Fortress is a bit more, maybe still trying to be figured out, as mentioned, also utility dependent at times. But Chalet, you know, you already talked about Tingus and Fluff being 2 very fragmentative players throughout this entire match. We're going on to Chalet. Now, Chalet encourages kills, and I'm just wondering how that's going to kind of be to their liking.
Yes, now, these 2 players, they do know Chalet like the back of their hand, especially Tingus Daddy. I've played with her, and she has some very dirty angles that she can get onto, both defensively and attacking. Always got to watch your angles, always got to watch your back, but it's going to be a very tight one once again.
I can imagine it's going to be extremely close. I mean, the fact that Fortress was so, and now we're heading on to a map that is I'd assume more known. Again, Chalet has been in the comp map pool for way longer than Fortress. These teams, without a doubt, know it closer to heart. They do know the strategies by heart, so they can actually focus on the team chemistry. It's similarly like, I don't know, Clubhouse, the grandfather of all maps, right? It's people just know it. They just know it.
Yes. I've gotten a bit tired of Clubhouse because it's just been so overplayed, like competitively and ranked wise. It's always one of the maps that is always continuously played and everything, and it's just coming down to, do you want to stay on those same maps? Whereas Chalet, I feel it's got a bit of a spice of life to it. Even though it's one of the maps that's always constantly played, they're always finding new angles to hold, new reinforcements to use, new holes to make. It's always something new. But we will see that very shortly as we'll go into a small break before we head into map number 2.
I knew it. I knew it. The second we went live, I was like, yep, I'm still muted. All right. Hopefully you got your drinks, your snacks to enjoy the show. We are going on to map number 2. And, well, Broken Mind, it's gonna be none other than Chalet. We talked a bit about it before going into it. And, well, after we just saw a loss, sadly, from Rizard. I mean, Silly Ducks, they got themselves a good victory, a good comeback on Fortress 75. Now they stand on series point and going onto their own map pick.
Definitely, and it was an interesting pick. Sorry, by the Silly Ducks for that first map. They actually selected attack first instead of going on to the usual defense, as you would when you're going onto your opponent's map pick. But Silly Ducks, they've now switched it over. They're going to be on the attack again. I'm wondering if that's just getting them into the motion, getting them comfortable with their attacks, and getting them down to what they need to execute to be able to take these bomb sites. Now, I will say I did get a bit of a special message from somebody that's playing in these games, and that is Tingus Daddy. They said, prepare for the rattiest shit you will ever see. So, I've already seen the rattiest stuff, but if she can bring something new out, I'm going to be more than happy to see it, as this is going to be a very interesting Chalet game.
It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting because, again, Silly Ducks kind of stand on a thin line between Rizards taking the series or them going to Nighthaven Labs a second opportunity, as now we go on to Chalet. Rizards starting on the defense, Silly Ducks on the attack. And yeah, like you said, interesting game is a good way to put it. I am looking forward to seeing how the bans are going to go. Are we going to have ourselves... Because on Chalet, breaches, you get rid of that ace. I think it's going to be quite common, such as on Fortress. But then that second ban is going to be the shields. Are we going to go towards execution operators? There's so many options you really can take on Chalet. And, well, I guess time will tell.
Definitely, as you said, the first one's going to be the Ace and the Cade. That is your first electronics off for this one. Now, I'm wondering if it's going to be something like the Blackbeard or potentially the Montaigne, but I don't think that Rizards are going to go for that sort of ban, in a sense, because Silly Ducks, they didn't play any of those shield operators except for the very first round, which you unfortunately missed out on, but the BB is going to be the next one as it comes in. But Silly Ducks, they banned the Azami back. I find that to be a very crucial pick to deny that Azami, to deny those Kiba barriers. Now, you can't have the very interesting long angles, or you've now got to try and swing off of just bodies. You don't have this massive barrier blocking that vision, and you can take a gunfight confidently.
Yeah, the Azami, I think, is possibly, I would argue, the strongest defender on this, maybe even the strongest operator on this map. You take a look at Mezzanine, she can hold it by herself. She can hold Library by herself. She can hold Blue by herself. Almost every room on this entire map is holdable by the Azami alone, just because of the strength those Kiba barriers offer. Although, you get rid of the Azami, yes, that's one of the few poisons gone. That means Gasai can hop on that Mira, which isn't commonly seen because, again, she's one of the most banned operators inside of Rainbow Six Siege. But this time around, Rizards, you know what? They didn't have the opportunity, or rather didn't feel the opportunity or need to use the Mira on the previous map. They're going to put it all down onto this one.
Definitely, as we did see for a second there, Cass almost reinforcing the wrong wall. As we do know, competitive and ranked, people always reinforce the left side because you get that very slither tight angle from that mezzanine all the way through the double window on Library. And it's one that I don't mind playing. I like it. It's a very tight angle. It's also a safe one. But the other thing we do notice is that now there's a mirror in play. You've got to make sure that you've got to get that mirror out of the way. But you're now going to have to go through a one-eye. The one-eye discs, they deny a lot of those nades. They like Tingus Daddy finds the first kill. Anyway,
there it is. She's already off to her streak, gonna open up this map and possibly close it off with a large kill count. I wouldn't be surprised. As now Silly Ducks, 30 seconds in, they get rid of that Melusi. The utility will still stay, but it's a player less. And again, on a map like Chalet, you want to keep as many guns as you can towards the execution. Tingus Daddy now on that IQ as well, which is going to be hunting down a bit of utility. We do have to keep in mind, Rizard only have a mute jammer to deny the breach of coming through, and even one of these players holding a vertical line down towards kitchen.
Definitely, but you've got Gasai still holding the library stairs here, top mez, as that's going to be a Aurora door going down as Fluff, she finds the first kill onto ticked off. That is your Ash off the board now, as it's now a 4v4 with a minute 50 left on the clock. You're halfway through the round, and there's still an annoying mirror sitting on that library side.
Because Daddy gonna have to be very careful again. Mira's a good, you could say, change, or rather adaptation for the Izami being gone. Timing there seemingly not working again, but Gasai getting the perfect opportunity to just shoot down Az from below. That's that buck, and verticality completely erased from the attacking side as the Ash has left the field prior to it. And now the defenders, even though they've lost Aurea, they've struck back tenfold.
Definitely is. You've still got Tinga's Daddy. She's still holding out on that highway angle, waiting for somebody to swing it or potentially find a gap for herself to get into on this bathroom. Besides, she finds another kill on to the Claire. That is your thermite gone. That is your hard breach gone as well. You've now got to take your gunfights and you've got to make sure that you win them now, as it's now a 4v2 with 50 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, that is just nasty work. I mean, bulk zip getting down by a pre-fire, information or not, she's gonna lay there with her as she's bleeding in her arms. And now the final player, seemingly spotted by Doki, the nade gonna flush her away. Fluff to finish the job on bulk zip, but now just the last one, Tingas. This is the player you want in a clutch situation. She has a couple of low HP players. Toki's gonna be one of them. That's a finishing shot, but 25 seconds and no case seems next to impossible, improbable at best.
Definitely, as Cass finishes the round out for Rizards. That is their first defensive round one. And Silly Ducks unfortunately couldn't find what they needed. It was just that one gunfight that they needed to be able to take Gasai off of that mirror on the mezzanine. But unfortunately for Az, she couldn't find the angle to get the kill in Gasai. Looked straight down, found the kill that she needed to secure the win for the round, in my opinion.
1-0 for Rizard. The defenders now going to be heading into kitchen and dining, and this is why Chalet is so picked. It's not only picked because of people just surprisingly liking the map or knowing it. It's also because all the 4 sites are very playable. Any of the 4 sites can be played, and it's completely down to how comfortable the team finds it. And, well, we can say without a doubt that Rizards have been finding themselves quite comfortable as they set off towards a very successful upper floor, now heading towards kitchen and dining.
Definitely. And the lineup that's coming out from the team of Rizzers here is a very interesting one. You've still got the mirror up on the board. They're utilizing it. Now you're going to be able to have those long angles. Now the other thing is, do you just give up the main wall, which they don't have any denial, except for maybe a mute jammer. But the mute jammers are better off holding other angles. They're better off giving you that drone denial, that intel denial. Mainly upstairs or maybe downstairs. You've got to watch your flanks.
Watch your flanks. What I liked is that Rizard, they bring along that mute instead of a bandit or anything, and ironically so, they don't even need that. I mean, Silly Ducks couldn't even get close to the main breach because of just the over-aggressive playstyle that Rizards have been playing, at least in round number 1. If they're going to continue that way into the second, we'll have to see if Silly Ducks can adapt in time, but currently, lineup clearly indicating it's going to be an upper floor push, as verticality here is the name of the game. In the meanwhile, though, it's how you approach it again. Claire is going to have to keep herself safe because you get that top floor so you can deny Rizard from playing the verticality. You yourself don't need to play it, but as long as you can get the main breach and that top hold control, that's all that matters.
Definitely has a bit of a miss throw there by Tinga's Daddy. Now, I do have problems with the ram drones at times. I never get the correct angle, but as soon as you find it, you get the drone started, and then all of a sudden you open up a lot of this vertical. As we do see Cass, she's just opening a bit of vertical herself for that trophy window. As Fluff, she's found herself in a very tight spot. You've got 3, 4, maybe the whole team looking to kill her down here in this big garage. But she's still one of those players that you cannot deny a kill or two. As first swing comes, does find a... Oh my god!
Whoa, Kaz! This is insane chemistry. I mean, we just saw Fluff hold off about 3 or 2 players for a minute and 15 seconds, and that gave Cass enough time to roam downstairs and get the double refrag, a 2-for-1 deal. Silly Ducks are so focused on Cass that they forgot their main push. They forgot what needs to be focused upon, and it's cost them 3 lives already. Possibly even a 4th underway if Boltskip doesn't win her ones. In the meanwhile, Tinga's daddy, unfortunate, but Gasai is going to take her out with a shotgun finishing shot. And now the Snake down below, 45 on count. Similar situation as previously. The round 1 just repeating into the second one now. A man disadvantage bleeding once more. There's the shot. The Snake advances, but it's Aurora to shut her down, and Rizard now 2 in a row.
Yes, Rizards are looking a bit more confident now with their defensive holds, but Silly Ducks, they get that good pressure, but they don't get the pinch to be able to find the kill there, as we did see Cass. She utilized it well. She did the timing, as we like to call it, the siege timing, and both players from Silly Ducks turned around to find Cass, aiming down her sights and finding a double kill on just unsuspecting victims.
This is something, a new beginning for Rizard again. Something that works for them as they can just continue racking round after round like Silly Ducks did against them on that attempted, what was the comeback. But again, it's similar to Fortress. They get a good beginning, then it's down to Silly Ducks and how they're going to respond. Although this is Silly Ducks' map pick. And again, it seems like them allowing that mirror to come through has cost them quite dearly. Which I'm imagining when we come to the 3rd wave of bans, that mirror is going to be booted right off.
Definitely, but this mirror is still being a very crucial play for the Rizards here. And especially on a bomb site, as this one implies, you've now got the mirror to be able to hold that angle from the hatch up into your library. It also holds a lot of the bomb site itself. But you've also now got Fluff back onto that warden. It denies a lot of the smoke executions, a lot of the quick plays. But you now got Tinga's daddy switching over to the Cali. This is one of the many counters to a mirror. And being able to put yourself in a good position to be able to get the kill on the mirror, or even just blowing the mirror up to deny that angle from the player that's playing on it, is a big help to the Silly Ducks on their attacks.
It seems like picking the Ash alone with her charges has not simply been enough to get rid of this mirror, because again, Rizard, if they clear out the Ash, then the attackers have absolutely no way of denying this mirror, unless they go up there and manually destroy it, punch it, you name it. As for now, though, Hess is going to make quick openings towards this library side, get those windows open, and that's the first one gone. You talk about that Kali, how she counters the mirror, a window already shattered.
As the first bit of a gunfight goes there, Gasai drops off, goes back down to site. No damage came out from either player there, but you know the intel was there. You know that somebody was playing in that little box area. Fluff finally putting the shield down on this very crucial spot at the top, but ticked off, being taken out by Gasai here.
Try to clear the roaming, but again, Rizard expectant of it. Now the buck is gone. Another asset of soft verticality, or rather soft breaching, destroyed. The Thatcher doing a great job here, Claire, just removing all this, the utility that makes it so much more comfortable for the defenders to hold. The pre-fire attempted by Cass as the mirror window, the second one now shattered as well, but look at the time it's taken for Silly Ducks to establish all they have.
Definitely, as Fluff takes a bit of a damage there. She may have gone into a gunfight with bulk zips here. And a lot of this pinging coming out as the main cam is still up, and Gasai finding the flank attack onto bulk zips there. That is your Snake off of the board, and this Gasai mirror play is being very crucial for Rizard's defense.
I mean, some of these players from Rizard have been just so monumental each round in and out. Previously was Cass, now it's Gasai just proving to be a menace lurking around that dining side, as she's already found herself 2 players. Even then, no one has cleared her yet. Silly Ducks have been going so individual at this that it's cost them 2 players. But as now trying to make a difference, Gasai is sending above to the upper floor as a jump into library that has gone wrong. The Thorn Trap just being a bit too much to counter as Tinga's down, and now the low HP to Ash in a 1v5 situation. The clutch scenario has been repeating in and out for Rizard here, and I don't think this is a round to be won either.
Definitely not, as Fluff finds the finishing kill with Gasai. And Silly Ducks, they just can't find the angles that they need. They're losing easy gunfights for themselves. But again, The Vector is a hard gun to win a one-on-one fight, as it is a high fire rate gun. And Mira, being a heavy operator, she's got a bit more health than what you should be expecting on a roamer. Mira's not really a roaming operator.
No, she isn't, but no, it's just the fact that you go into so many situations alone. The Buck went alone, the Snake went alone, both had the same fate, and just like that, Rizard, 3 rounds up. This is a very, very similar standpoint as we had on Fortress, and I believe the largest lead we had on Fortress was by 3 rounds. It was at that 5-2 standpoint where Rizard held Silly Ducks back, who currently on the attack. Yes, the defenders are normally to come out of Chalet 4-2 or 3-3. So Silly Ducks, right now, a change again needs to be made.
Definitely a different angle needs to be taken, or maybe a potential drone placement needs to be put into play to be able to find these potential drones or these flanks that have been really losing them the rounds. Because, as you said, they're taking their one-on-ones. They're not winning them because they don't have the info to be able to counter the flank or the roam potential that's coming out of Rizard. But we have players that can do that. It's just down to, are they in the position? Are they comfortable to do it? As you've now got Az on the Buck. You've now got Bulk onto the netmine. It's now a striker. But you've got Ticked Off jumping onto that blitz. You've got Tingersteady now going onto the Osa. And this is going to be the first time that we're seeing Osa in this lineup, as well as the Lion being played. And a bit of a drone play being done here as Fluff found a drone in a very, very comfortable spot in the bedroom.
Poor drone got held at gunpoint. Really have to feel bad for him. But Silly Ducks, this is a lineup of hell, it seems like. I mean, we have the Lion Blitz Osa. That is the triple yellow, which could be indicating some sort of rush or really aggressive play. Without a doubt. I mean, Ticked Off is already going alone by herself downstairs. Hopefully, Rizard did not set up Kaz, because we saw what happened last time. Ticked Off is being very careful about it, though. And again, it's just roam clearage that you have to kind of make sure is good down below. But Silly Ducks currently going for a Solarium push.
Definitely, as we do see Az getting killed by Fluff here. Fluff is in a very crucial spot, but is she going to get found out by Ticked Off here? As Ticked Off doesn't quite find any of the targets to be able to hit and find the kill. Aurea taking a bit of damage, and still a 4v5 situation. Fluff finds the second one on to the Blitz here. As you're just taking a 2-on-1 situation. You need to have backup. Don't go solo.
It's been said before, but now again, Silly Ducks stand at a large disadvantage. One on a highway, that's going to be Tinker's daddy. The rest also split apart. Silly Ducks, their entire push has gone to waste, especially with that blitz now being gone, which would have been such a surgical operator to push up trophy stairs. And again, the roam clearage gone wrong. This time, Rizard were the ones who kind of took 2v1s. And well, Silly Duck, again, they just kind of walked into them. Now, with 1 minute and 25, the remaining attackers need to make a change. And, well, it's Tinker's daddy, the first one to step up.
Definitely is. You still have 3 of your players downstairs on the side as Tingus finds his second one. And it's Aurea. That is your Melusi off the board. But you've still got to take out 3 more. You've still got Fluff underneath with that C4 potential. You've got Gasai with another C4. And Doki, she's just another gunner that's ready for the next gunfight. But Fluff, she's rotated upstairs into the bathroom, is going to be prepped as Gasai. She's holding these library stairs, waiting for the potential strike in a very crucial position.
Lion scan here might be needed. Flashes are out. Donkey still behind a shield. A crossfire now cut away as Gasai tries to retreat towards this fireplace side, but Silly Ducks don't have a lot established. They have these windows and doors at best, as the flash has blinded Doki. There's an air jab to send her flying back as well. She's cornered, but the shield is keeping her alive, and Silly Ducks, they just can't make an advancement. Doki even finds a kill onto Claire. How the hell is she still alive? It's a miracle, but she's making it work. Gasai for the support. She goes down 2v1 now, and it's all to the Bulls and how she's going to keep it going. A bit of damage Doki's way, no information, as she just kind of has to brute force her way into it. A C4 and awkwardly thrown onto the piano, and time is starting to run low, but the Melusi, or rather just all the utilities, starting to slow down the last player of Silly Ducks, since she tries to make an entrance. That's a flashy one at that, and almost had the opportunity to close it, but time has ran out.
Definitely a very close one there for Bulk Zips, as she couldn't find the time to find that first kill, swing in, get the second kill to secure the round for Silly Ducks. But in saying that, I don't know how she survived going from that blue hole back into sight after everything was starting to happen.
Air jabs, flashes, 3 players holding you, you name it.
Yep.
I mean, just wonders by Doki there. She even got a kill while at it, multitasking at its finest. And Silly Ducks, they were punishing Rizard's good for getting overzealous. Again, especially, we saw those 2 opening frags on the attacking side. And it seemed like the comeback was very doable. Again, Silly Ducks, it's just a bit of a shame that they always rely on what is a comeback.
Attackers need to locate and defuse the bomb.
Now that initial push was a very big downfall for them, as you lost Az, but then you lost your shield operator, being a bit too aggressive, trying to take a one-on-one when it was actually almost a 1-on-3 situation, as you did have the Melusi of Aurora. She was sitting on those Solarium stairs. She could have swung down, gotten the kill onto the Blitz as they were trying to swing onto a gunfight. You've also got Fluff. She's just a fragger that just found the angle, got the kill on the Blitz. And you also had a third player that was playing inside of the dining. So you had 3 angles as one shield operator to try and fight. Hopefully, the next round they're going to be playing a bit more together, because once they play together, they actually find what they need to. They get those angles, they get the pinches, they get the refrags. They find what they need to do, and they can do it, as it looks like Fluff is just going to place a very sneaky little Goyo canister in the mud room.
Silly Ducks, it's not over just yet. These 2 rounds are going to be necessities if you want to be anywhere near comfortable going into the second half. But if they are to secure a 4-2, things are still not too far apart. Even though they were at a 5-2 on Fortress, they made a comeback. And again, it seems like they're molded under pressure, like a sort of diamond. But now, again, once pitted up against a similar situation with Rizard already knowing what Silly Ducks are capable of, might tend to be a different storyline this time around, as Silly Ducks, again, just taking it a bit isolated. We saw the line pushing forward, drones ahead, which is a good sign, but if she were to die, there would be no one there for the refrag.
Definitely, and that is a lot of your intel operations gone if that tends to happen. Well, they've now taken control of the mezzanine. They're droning out a lot of this fireplace downstairs, but not much droning is happening upstairs. They're just allowing these vertical players for potential late game pressure. The frags going out to try and find the Cade Claws, or the Bandit Traps, sorry. As the first one goes out, a lot of the Bandit Traps are gone. Your wall is free on one side, but no Bandit batteries in pocket. Gasai drops. I don't think it was intentional, but it might be the play here.
Oh, the camera's still the Valkyrie Black Eyes set up on the major pivoting parts of the map, especially this upper floor, which Silly Ducks aren't making too large of an effort to push through. But again, all you need is a line of sight to deny verticality from the defenders in bulk sip. She's got herself in a strong position. Now she just needs to advance, but it's this lack of information that might be her downfall as the Valkyrie swings. The flick is back and an exchange of damage between the two. Rizard also supporting each other by Fluff as Doki finds ticked off elsewhere. A second one and a retaliation finally comes through, but Silly Ducks once more a player down and 50 seconds remaining here with the breach there, but or not even that.
This is where your play has to come down to swings on very tight angles. As a bad flash comes out, blinding as couldn't quite take a gunfight there, as there's no close gunfights. Aurea finds the long angle all the way through, securing the kill on Daz. You've got 30 seconds left. You've got 3 players that are on that bomb site and 1 on verticality. Or 2 on verticality, sorry. Looks like the third player didn't quite drop, but Bulk, she takes bomb site, doesn't quite win a gunfight, as Tingus finds one onto Cass here. You've got 10 seconds left and 3 kills that you need to find.
Tingus, this is, again, just an unfortunate case. They're stuck with an unwinnable round again, and Bulksip going in alone. Tingus was not there for the support. She got herself in a large crossfire, not only from above, but from kitchen and west main as well. It becomes practically impossible to defend yourself from so many angles, and just like that, Rizard, just by working together, have they won 5 rounds. Silly Ducks, again, their strategy, they seem to know what they want to do. They seem to have a good path. It's only how they execute it is when they seem to fall the lowest. And again, individuality is something you don't want to bring to Chalet, because even though gunfights are good, if you can't consistently win your ones, the enemy team is going to keep on winning. And again, Rizard clearly have some good gunners on the team.
And definitely, and they're playing more of that, you got my back, I've got your back, we get a kill, you get a kill type of style of play here. As that kitchen side was a lot of just playing off of each other. There was the two players upstairs. As soon as one swung, another one would get a kill. Then Docky, she got a second kill, but it was a trade with Claire, so it was 2 for 1 on that situation. But now you've also got to rotate your whole push. Do you go for the full downstairs, or do you still clear the vertical players upstairs? Which, in my opinion, the upstairs should have been the main focus for your push. You want to get that verticality that they've pre-placed for you. You want to use that. You want to make sure that it's in your hands rather than your opponent's.
Well secured.
Well, currently, the ball has not been passed to Silly Ducks just yet. They've had a couple of opportunities, especially with Tinga's daddy getting a real good run at back about 2 rounds ago, where she found herself 2 kills to establish a 3v3. But even then, again, it just didn't come to fruition, and the result is what matters most. Round 6 now underway. Last one of the first half, and Rizard's just thriving off of their defensive. Silly Ducks it is. I do only wonder if them picking the attacking side first is something they had accounted for, if this score is something they have imagined, or are they starting to feel a bit of that stress? Although they do have a map already underway. They do have one of the first map for themselves, so again, it's not like they're going to lose the series just by Chalet going through.
Definitely, as this is a very aggressive push by Tingers, but she does have the backup of Az here. This is what you want. You want your blitz pushing up. You want to take space, and you want to have somebody to back you up with it. As the first kill is going to come out for Az there, and Claire is going to find a kill onto Cass, but she's on very low HP. Is there a way that they can get Az to try and bring this to a 5v4? As yes, it's going to be a 5v4. It's now a 5v3 as Tinga's daddy finds a kill. And Claire, she's still holding those main stairs. Potential warden swing. You've now got a drone. You found the info. You know where they're playing. And you could potentially swing off of it. Or you can hold. Wait for your time.
This is great, but the Warden has backed off of holding main stairs, and that leaves Gasai vulnerable from Tinga's daddy, who has taken matters into her own hands. Doki swinging fluff elsewhere. That's 2 for Rizard. They've brought it back. And Silly Ducks, as much as they came off extremely explosive into this round, it seems like they've been cooled down as going for an off angle, but she's being held up close and both on low HP. The first shot comes through, and the DMR comes out winning. Now long angle established alongside her blitz. Fluff is going to need to get aggressive if she wants to return that man count for herself. The Warden there spots one of the players, gets up close, but that's going to be punished by Tinka's daddy. Now 3v1, and ball skip for the final shot. Silly Ducks will claim themselves 1 round in on their attack.
Now that's the type of push that you want. You want your fragger on the shield communicating to the team, follow me. I am going to be the forward push that we need. And they took that space. They took it early. Yes, Az did go down, but Claire found the kill after that. Then it was just continuously finding the next frag after the next one. And unfortunately for Rizards, as you said, the Warden gave up the main stairs, which fireplace angle all the way through. Gasai got heavily damaged, allowing Az to then take that one-on-one fight, finding the kill. She just needed to tap him once. She tapped him once, then swung in. And then the blitz was back in front of you. You have no confidence to take on a blitz in that situation. And it's Tinga's daddy. They are a fragger.
They are a fragger. Taking the blitz and pushing through with the first round. It's 5-1. I'll be honest, this is not looking good. Tinga's daddy on 7 kills, doing what she does best. But sadly, Silly Ducks are still 4 rounds below. Now, you know, we saw it on Fortress. We saw them win, what, 5 rounds in a row on Fortress? So I'm not going to say that it's impossible. I'm just going to shut my mouth right now before Silly Ducks, again, prove me wrong. But it is without a doubt that Rizard, I mean, they've been just looking so good. Although Silly Ducks, you know, this is the one round that I really did love. Like you said, they stepped up. They worked together, and that's what we need.
Definitely. Now, I'm going to probably do the same. I'm not going to do the caster's curse as I did on the first map. But overall, it's looking good for Rizards here. But Silly Ducks, they did show as soon as they play together and they play a bit more structured in the way that they want to push and they continue that push, they take the space. They continue to control the game. Now they're on their defensive side. It's now got to come into that play of, are you going to play off of each other, or are you going to leave it into the one-on-ones?
Swapping mags!
We're gonna have to find out. I mean, Silly Ducks, if they want to win this second map, go flawless into the series, they're gonna have to do so miraculously. Again, just working off of comebacks is not something we're used to seeing, but if a team can establish that side of comfort, if they can use that pressure to fuel their own fire, then so may it be. You know, Silly Ducks, they're on the defense. They're on what would be considered the more favored of the two sides, not by a large margin, but Tinker's daddy, you know, she's had enough. She said, if we're already 4 rounds down, I might as well just throw a spanner in the works.
Well, she did preemptively tell us that she was going to give us the rattiest plays, but unfortunately she's not able to find that kill on this spawn peak. Still looking, doesn't quite find anything, does a bit of a frustration spray, as we all do if nothing goes to our plan. We spray a bit of a window. But the Echo play is going to be coming very crucial late into this round, but we do have the Solus being played for the first time in the series by Bulk Sips.
Cass is going to be joining the path that Tinker's daddy wanted to lead around this mezzanine balcony. Maybe a pre-fire would be expected, but it seems the attackers have already backed off. Elsewhere, Bolska onto Gasai's case, and that's the Capital gone. Huge operator from the attacking side. As in the meanwhile, we get to see Aurora in action from Toki's side, which does block off that piano, meaning Silly Ducks can't advance forward. But as we saw it, Bulk Sip is still downstairs, and someone needs to clear her.
Definitely Docky's holding this angle. She doesn't know if they're inside of the bar game or if they are all the way down the bottom, but it looks like a drone is going to go out and they're going to get the info that they need on Bulk, but she also has the Solus gadget. She can see if a drone's coming to her or if a drone isn't coming. Doki still doesn't know where they are. The drone may not have gone all the way downstairs. Aurea finds a kill on Declare. It's now a 4v4 with half of the round left, and defenders are in good positions here.
As charged towards the head holes of the site wall. Gonna get rid of those, what would be banded batteries, but rather it's Arcade, and you're gonna need to hunt that claw down. It was pinged as well. It's above the breach, but it doesn't seem like that was caught fully by Aurea. There we go, just a bit of help. Should be able to find in a matter of seconds, but seconds are gonna be a virtue that you can't waste too much of. Again, last second rushes and executions are quite scrappy to get through, but the Thermite should have a comfortable time breaching, and Silly Ducks have a couple of players on site, and also someone who's around these main stairs. It's going to be Bulk Sip.
Definitely is. Docky's just making a bit of a hold to be able to hold that defuse plant as soon as it goes down. The smoke canister comes out. Cash, she's a bit wary of these fireplace stairs. TikTok finds the first kill onto Fluff. As it is now 30 seconds, you've got to do your execution here. You've got to get the plant down. As the next kill comes out by Cass, the smoke canister comes out. Aurea finding a kill back on the Bulk Sips. That's TikTok finding a kill onto Cass. It's the Echo drone coming in, denying a lot of this plant. You've got 20 seconds left. You have to get in. You have to get the plant down. Aurea taking a lot of damage from the smoke. You've got 15 seconds. You've still got to play a lot of this tight angle, as you've now got Doki coming in close, trying to hold the angle, but you've got the Echo drones to worry about as well. And TikTok finding the swing. Doki finding the kill back, and unfortunately the Echo drone would have denied the plant going down as Silly Ducks find their next round win.
That is just unfortunate. Rizard there, in the moment, thought they had it all. The breach was open, but they failed to check one thing. They had it. Everything was perfect until they realized they were up against an Echo and a smoke. TikTok doing great wonders. Again, the player, one of the defenders, or rather the attackers, wanted to push through bathroom and just shut down by TikTok's SMG-11. And that's already great, but then the smoke canisters just coming out, forced the Thermite to back off of that plant, and TikTok finishing yet another kill. That was the pivoting spot for Silly Ducks there once more, and the Yokai was just a second layer to that. Even if TikTok were to fall, it was around 5 seconds remaining, meaning the Yokai should have just stayed silent, waited for the time to run out, and struck the planter if need be. You know, Silly Ducks, they were ready for that execution more than we had anticipated, and more that Rizard have. It's now 5-2. It's around for Silly Ducks, but they still need a couple.
Definitely is. It's now down into this bar gaming bomb site that we saw Rizard struggle on in their earlier round. Now Silly Ducks have a chance to show how to actually defend it, or Is it going to be Rizzers that are going to get comfortable and take that match point, as this is sort of becoming a very great game. Both teams are showing their potential, they're showing what they are made of, and this map is giving us the best siege that we can have out of these two teams.
Default take by, rather default hold by Silly Ducks. We're quite used to also seeing a Frost on Library, but she will be substituted by a Thorn, which we have seen be, ironically, pun intended, a thorn in the side of Rizard as they wanted to jump into Library, which they have brought a Thatcher to try and counter in the past. This time around, they're just going to rather stick to fighting fire with Friar. If Silly Ducks are going to bring a bunch of utility, Rizard, they're going to bring just that much more.
Definitely, with the Bravo pick being a very interesting one, because that's now a big counter to most of these picks, like as Fenrir. You've now got to take and control their own F-Knots. You've now got potential to take Thorn Traps. You've got the One-Eye Discs that you can take control of as well, but you only get 3 on each drone. Fluff, she's taking a lot of space here, but it's a lot of droning space, and this team's going to give it up. First Thorn Trap is going to be triggered, but it's not going to really find anything, to be honest.
This nice little shot by Fluff getting drawn forward, as will be the first line of defense standing between you taking Mezzanine. Wizard, how they're going to approach this is another question on its own. There's a lot of Lamai discs, or rather magnets, set up as well that you need to either clear, destroy, or just waste to make sure that Rizard don't have themselves a comfortable run. You do have that Grim, which is just a menace on this upper floor, and going to start shooting away at those at the library stairs with his bees. One's going to get captured by the Wamai, but again, he has plenty up his pocket. Another one. Another one. There's just an unlimited supply on her.
Definitely is. The next bee didn't quite find the player on the shield, as they do have a lot of the intel denied by those beautiful magnet placements. I like a bit of a one-eye placement, as do most players, but you've now got this library push coming in, as a lot of this upstairs is now going to be taking control of as she's going to drop off of the mez. Does drop down to the bomb. The first kill is by Az onto Fluff. That is your Grim gone, but Cass finding the kill back. That is your F-Knots being stuck in their positions that they're at, as Cass gets taken down by bulk zips.
Back and forth between the teams. Arya, hopefully you got the call that there might be a thorn beneath you as you jump into that library window. Bulksip's still roaming around the shining side, and yep, Arya taking heavy damage. Now she's going to be slowed for a meanwhile. 45 seconds, though, counting, and Silly Ducks, look at the utility they still hold. There's Legion Goose, presumably set up all around side, while ticked off on 3 Beebs, most probably an SMG-11 that has already caused them a great deal of damage. No, the Smoke is going to have still 1 canister up her pocket, but nonetheless, it's getting used last second, and now the attackers look at the pressure they have to deal with since they have no information of what they're getting themselves into.
Definitely, the players sitting all the way down in kitchen is a very crucial position. No players are playing on that bomb site, but Kasashi finds the kill onto ticked off here. That is your one player that was sitting in stockroom. You've got the BPs letting you know where everybody is, but the Legion Mine's coming out. That is your defuser being denied here for a second, but Aurea getting the defuse down. You've got nothing to deny it completely. You've got to take your gunfights here as Bulksip loses the gunfight against Gasai. Gasai then losing to Tingus Daddy. You've now got a 2-on-1 situation. Aurea getting downed on a pre-fire by Tingus, but you've got Docky still playing on the library stairs. That's a lot of verticality. You've now got to take Vert here, or do you just go for the gunfight from the hatch?
Oh, she's going to bait her. Tingus Daddy, 2 ticks. That's usually the rule. Doki, she's going to check her right on it, and Rizard are going to get themselves match point. That was beautifully played by Rizard. Honestly, just full respect to them. Silly Ducks, they held every single entrance possible, but the hatch. The hatch was the least expected route for Rizard to take, because it feels like an impossible mission. I mean, you're just jumping down into a one alleyway of death, but nothing was really holding that hatch, so Rizard got themselves a free entrance onto side, while Silly Ducks were holding mezzanine, main, kitchen and dining, everything but the side itself, and that was the largest mistake, which now it's 4 rounds in a row, or it is map number 3.
Definitely, as Silly Ducks unfortunately ticked off, finding that last death, being the last player on site, may have peaked a bit too early, as the player of Gasai didn't want to drop and wanted to hold the angle, making sure that she finishes that kill and secures that round for her team. And then Tingus, she just couldn't find the actual angle she needed to find the player upstairs. doing the 2-tick as you said,
Attackers
trying to
need
bait them in,
locate and
but
defuse as many bombs
the
as
ram
they
is
can.
quicker than your 2 taps will go. As we are back onto the same site, they're feeling confident that they can win the round on this one.
Wall is reinforced!
I think his daddy doing what she promised she would. Ratty plays or not, she is still the very top of the food chain inside this match alongside Gasai, both carrying 8 kills and a total of 16 between the two. Whatever the case though, Silly Ducks again, just underperforming inside this beginning. After the first half, they were 5-1. They gained a round, but Rizard did as well now, so match point is going to be quite a heavy burden to shoulder for the moment being. And Silly Ducks, they're going to the same side, but it seems like they're more prepared for any entrance as an Aruni gate alongside 2 Goyo canisters on that double window is maybe a bit too much, but hey, I guess they're just setting up precautions.
A bit of a jump out there by Tinga's daddy, trying to do a little 5-second jump out. Usually people will get picked off it, but Tinga's daddy couldn't quite find one, and she's now reinforcing the garage side, forcing them to use a hard breach or some type of device to open that up for themselves. But Fluff, she's taken a lot of this space early on. She's straight up those solarium stairs and taken this piano side very quickly and very confidently.
Wow, Fluff just pushing forward, like you said, a drone as well, faster than it maybe even. Sentry has a lot of utility. 2 nades here are going to start burning away at the Wamais, I imagine, as then the Capital bolts can do their job. Might be the plan going for it right now, but as of the moment, hopefully they're going to be a bit quicker. As we saw in the previous round, it was around 1 minute and 10 seconds when they actually established verticality, only set it up prepping, but no, nothing just yet from Rizard.
Well, looks like it was a bit of a failed nade there as it went too deep into the corner and didn't quite catch the shield. Fluff is going to try it once more. And a lot of the rest of this push is just going to be opening it up with the DMR, doing whatever they can as Docky. She's now going to ram it open to give a bit of a better angle for her team. The shield's finally gone. But the blue stairs is still a very crucial spot for your team to hold. Haven't jumped through that library double window yet. As she's sitting on a very beautiful angle, but Tingus, you cannot take her on a long fight with the DMR. You've got to take a better situation there. And comfortably sitting in mud. Oh,
Couple of shots. That's brutal. Az is going to find Kaz, instant refrag from above. And raining Hellfire, that's Aurea taking verticality as well, but similar situation, as now Rizard are starting to punish anyone who has not backed down to sight just yet. Fluff moving as quickly as she did at the beginning of the round. Now 3v3, equal opposition. Gridlock tracks being set up, making sure that no defender ascends up once more, but it's going to be how the entrance onto the side will be established by Rizard themselves. As we've seen it previous round, you might call it a bit of a fluke. This time around, Silly Ducks, I don't think they're going to allow that hatch drop to come through just as easily.
definitely not. Tingus is playing closer to sight on a very crucial spot for her team here, as it is still a 3v3 with 30 seconds left on the round. Bulk Zips is playing on the top of this fireplace stairs. Are they going to find an angle to be able to get a refrag or do anything here, as we do see the Aruni gate being the first thing that needs to be destroyed before you do your drop here.
Love checking all her angles, but the right one on your 6 didn't check Tingus. That's a dropped already. Doki falling as well. The case has gone cold. Now a 1v3 situation in Aurea. Please, that window is just death incarnate. Barbed wire, Goyo canisters, and 3 players holding you down. Silly Ducks will make an effort once more, and they're going to keep themselves surviving.
Definitely, as that was a lot better hold. They were more confident in just playing the patient game, waiting for the situation to come to them. And Tingus, she was just being I like to call her the Viper. She waits to strike, and then she striked and got that kill on Fluff. And Fluff, she was the crucial player. She made it all the way into Piano way earlier than what I'd say Silly Ducks were prepared for. And then that first nade unfortunately didn't quite catch the shield, but then the second nade comes out, finds the shield, then they're able to take the mezzanine or just the top of the library stairs and do the push that they wanted to.
I mean, Rizard, they had themselves a good beginning, and again, the refract potential was just brilliant, especially when it came down to Az. Instantly, I believe it was Aurea who caught her off guard trying to get a kill, a second one towards that mezzanine side. But in general, just as much as Rizard held themselves well towards the end of the game, it's that execution which seems to lack most from them. And it so on Fortress as well. It's the fact that they get to these last few seconds and are what would be underprepared against Silly Ducks, who, again, they held that upstairs, they backed off dividendly, then they just kind of waited, like you said, like vipers.
And definitely, they're not quite ducks, they are vipers in this game today, as they're back upstairs, trying to take this top floor, as you've now got your Tachanka back on the board. A potential slowdown as the smoke's been taken off. This is I find to be a good rotation. Instead of going with something else, you've now got a similar thing as to what the smoke would provide. The slow, the denial, and you're not going to be comfortable planting in a fire.
No, you won't be. And Silly Ducks, yeah, you got the smoke, you got the fire, you've got 2 fires, and you got a yokai on top of that, just to add a cherry on top. Silly Ducks, they are ready for whatever plant will be attempted by Rizard. That is, if the Tachanka is kept alive until the end of the round alongside his Echo Yokai. Now, Rizard, how they're going to approach that? Oh, seems like Gasite almost got spawn peek there for a moment. I'm assuming library side, yeah, it was Tinker's daddy. Who else?
Yep, Tinker's daddy is always trying to find some form of a kill, but Bulksips is potentially playing in a very crucial spot here as well as Aurora. She's going to look at trying to take this library side. A lot of the droning coming out. They've got drones in very crucial spots. That bar angle has always been one that they had to watch out for. You've got to have your flanks covered.
Aurora, getting ready for this library. No utility there to deny her, as it seems like Silly Ducks don't want to overextend towards Mezzanine itself. They have prepped up a lot of utility trophy and Solarium side, however, which is going to make this entrance from Rizard quite a difficulty, as Texov just holding anyone daring to go into her crosshair, but as of the moment, both teams quite silent.
Definitely is Bulksip. She switches back to her drone that was sitting inside of the bathtub, as the main breach is going to be opened up, as Fluff finds the first kill on Claire here, but that was a claw trick. That's your thermite charge gone. Still got 2 more though.
Reloading.
Yeah, thankfully after the newest buff to thermite, which has been a while ago, but he now has 3 exothermic charges, and putting another one to use is not going to do any harm. You have only 1 main breach that you really need to focus on as an attacker, and that has now been established. Rizard also finding a kill onto Claire, meaning no extra Kate Claws are going to be set on down. Good stoppage here. But Silly Ducks, they're going to need to make an effort to keep themselves grounded, because they're not holding what needs to be held. Like, Fluff can just jump in right now.
Definitely, you've got the 1 cam that can be looked at by Claire, and it looks like it was just sat on for a second. It looks like it's going to be another smoke plant here by Docky. She's playing underneath, got a very good smoke play going. You've got to try and deny the Shamika launches from going all the way through. Haven't quite found all of what they need to. Gasai's going to fight fire with fire here. He's going to plant more deeper in the corner, closer to the breach, as Tingus finds a kill. Fluff found a kill back onto Ticked Off. It's now a 3v3 as Az finds another kill, as a Yokai drone may have given them the info.
Huge by Fluff. She's entered bathroom willingly and for free. That is going to allow her to pick off Az as Tingus returns the favor. Now the Yokai is still alive, and that's a huge aspect. In the meanwhile, those Scopos going for a flank, being caught off guard. Aurora has hunted her down, and now 15 seconds. This needs to be committed to in the corner. Gonna keep it wasting and stalling for as long as she can. Halfway through, there we go. The stun is going to connect, and now they just need to recommit to it. But how patient are we going to be? You only have 2 blasts. The second Yokai is there as well, and all she needs to do is hop up and hit her stun,
no.
but it's 2 in the corner. It's just too wide apart, and Tingus Daddy, that was too close, but still a 1v2. It's not impossible, although you've been caught or now cornered in master bedroom, and you're a last piece of prey. That just needs to be found. Ooh, I seem to spot the hand there towards one of the bathroom players. Oh, that is just a shame.
Very unfortunate. Went a bit too early on the jump back up to the roof and couldn't quite get an angle with the Echo drone there. And unfortunate. But Rizard, they looked confident. They felt confident. They played their defense really well. They secured that 5-1 lead. And then they just looked strong on their attacking rounds. As Silly Ducks, they did come back through, win a few rounds, but Rizards, they were just like, no, when we're not gonna have you come back on this one. We're gonna finish this off.
We're not doing this again. You know, we've had enough of your comebacks in the previous map, but that means our wishes are somewhat fulfilled. I mean, Broken Mind, we are going to Nighthaven Labs, which arguably is probably one of the more interesting maps in my opinion. I mean, still a recent addition. You know, it's been in the top map pool for quite a while, but it's a good mix of main breaches, of aggression. It's like just it is the new clubhouse.
Definitely is, as it is another one of those 3 floors, similar to what Clubhouse is. It's 3 floors of just bomb sites that you can get comfortable with. A lot of vertical play can be played on a lot of the sites as well. And it's also teams, they now get to do what they want to do. They can roam. You've now got Bulkzip. She can do the roam as much as she wants. You've now got Tinga. She's got a lot more space to be a ratty player as she wants to be. And it allows a lot of these Rizard players to now go, all right, what's our push going to be? How do we deny a lot of these roams that are coming out? And Nighthaven Labs is just one of those ones you've always got to have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, and it's also how they're going to work around these main breaches, because for the first 2 bans, undoubtedly they will be the Cade and the Bandit, and then it's down to how the defenders are going to adapt. They're going to most probably pick an Izami, a Mira, or such, but again, that's a thing of the future. That's a thing of the shortcoming 3rd map that will be Nighthaven to decide this matchup today, and for now, stay tuned as we're going to take a short break, so get yourself something to enjoy the show.
Welcome back in for map 3, which is going to be NHL, or Nighthaven Labs, as you like to call it. But this is going to be another great game. I'm looking forward to it because it's now going to be a 3-floor. We're going to see a lot more. We didn't see so much of the basement on the chalet, but you did see the 2 upstairs and the 1 middle floor. But it's going to be interesting to see how both of these teams take it. It's, as you said, one of the maps that's fresher to the comp scene. It's not so much played in competitive scene, but when it is played, it's a glorious map to watch. It's a lot of strategy, a lot of tactics, and a lot of ratty plays.
A lot of ratty plays. I feel like you're pointing a finger towards a player, but you know what? I'm not going to say anything just yet. Whatever the case, though, yeah, Nighthaven Labs, it's going to be interesting. Especially, again, I do want to see how the defenders adapt to the main breaches just constantly being open, because if you don't ban Caden Bandit, I don't know. I don't know what the strategy is. But both these teams are seemingly ready. We're going to be heading into Nighthaven Labs, the decider for our quarterfinals today. And Silly Ducks, Rizard both have proven that they have the talent, they have the ambition to throw hands. And in the previous map, we saw Rizard, they kicked off the match so good, Silly Ducks did not have a chance to come back in time. But this time around, I don't think Silly Ducks should rely on comebacks as we head into the first wave of bans. Silly Ducks on the defense, Rizard on the attack.
Definitely, as this is going to be Silly Duck's first time throughout this series of starting on the defense. They did choose to do the attacking on their map, but then they got forced onto attacking on the next map. Yes, the defense looked a bit more comfortable for them on that second part of Chalet, but they were a bit slow on getting onto their gears. They weren't really ready to go by the time it switched over. But this one, we're seeing the Maverick, the Mirror, we're seeing the Azami, the Dokkaebi. That is your Rafters player not going to be able to play it comfortably with that Azami. Your Mirror's going to be a basic ban on this, because you've got many bomb sites that she can really be a frustration to go against, especially on that basement. You get a good Mirror that looks onto the main breach. Or upstairs, you can get a Mirror that watches the Rafters, or you can have one that watches into your connector. In saying that, these teams are going into their first round.
Going into their first round, the Bandit might be easier to clear than imagined. Of course, we're going to probably set her to trick around the main wall. But again, there is a soft surface that you can access from the storage window down below. You have Twitch drones, you have Thatchers, you name it. There's a lot of utility that can get rid of the Bandit very clearly. As for Silly Ducks, right now, no Azami, no Mirror. Like mentioned, that's going to make Rafters a difficulty to hold. And while they have removed the Maverick and Dokkaebi, which are undoubtedly two of the stronger operators on the site, what is left open for Rizard, if they are willing to use it, is a shield operator, which, especially if you're already going to be pushing Rafters, might be something that could make that job plenty of times easier.
Definitely. We did see Gasai take that Monty onto the first map of the Fortress, but this one they're deciding not to go with it, which is very interesting. But it's down to how they want to play it. Are they going to open the breaches very quickly? Because you've now gotten off of your Thatcher, you're going onto the Grim, you've got your Ash, the Snake, and then you're going with the double breach of Thermite Ace. Now, it might be a bit hard for Bulkzeps to get a bit of a bandit trick off here, as you've now got 2 denials that you've got to do. But Gasai, she's the first one that's going to be downed and finished by Tingus Daddy. That is your rat play finally being brought out on the first round of Nighthaven Labs.
And then back to setting up site. You know, she took the risk. It's prioritization. You have to be a rad before you set up site. And in the meanwhile, now the ace has been lost. That's one of the 2 hard breachers. You keep that Thermite going. But in the meanwhile, Rizard are surprisingly pushing through Solarium. Now, this is a very risky play, especially because, again, it's only one doorway that Silly Ducks need to hold. And it makes it extremely one-dimensional because not much pressure is being applied from elsewhere, especially when one of the breachers is gone. The Grim isn't going to push anyone wanting to swing around desks away, but you still have that shield, plenty of utility to hold you in cover. So Rizard right now not going to be able to move forward comfortably. It's how they're going to approach other angles, and what a shot by Az. Had holes there just to expose Doki and find another player off of the attack.
Definitely, as you still have one player sitting at the top of those stairs, and you've got a very clean flank coming out by Bulkzips, but we did see the drone get placed in the 90 section right in the corner there, but nobody's seeing on it. It's Fluff. She gets down into the Bulk's angle, and it's a headshot from behind.
This
Not
is
looking good.
No, it is not. I mean, Rizard, again, we've seen them approach the attack in many different ways, but this one might just be one of the less prominent. Taking a long shot towards Tiktov, who did get a bit aggressive around electrical, but overall this round 2v5, I don't think it's going to be happening. Although, you know, we've seen many miracles happen inside this match, so still not impossible, but time is ticking away. You don't have much breaches established, and even then, if you do, there's a whole rotation to your right that Cass is going to need to be wary of.
That's an interesting little double beeper hold, but whatever works for you, as Aurora has taken a lot of damage on that one, and they've reinforced that rotation from that connector back to the side. Bulk, she's looking for another rotate, trying to find a bit of a flank potential here, but Cash, she's going over to the main breach as the wall has been opened finally, but these stairs, is it going to be a bit of a swing by Bulks? No, doesn't quite find the timing onto Aurora, but could be a potential run out.
Whatever the case, I think this round is just gone to dust already. Might be Silly Ducks here, looking just to close things out a couple of seconds earlier. Last one's going to be Kaz, and undoubtedly, Tinga's daddy is the one who not only began the round, will be the one to also close things out. And an opening one for Silly Ducks. I mean, that is dominance displayed at its finest. They went and sandwiched Rizard around that CC side, to the point of where they had already lost 3 players and still a minute left. The final 2 just looking to find scraps from the ground, but nothing could be obtained, and Silly Ducks played that perfectly. As for Rizard, I'm sad to see that they didn't utilize everything that this map has to offer. Nighthaven Labs, especially the upper floor, gives you the option to approach the site from rafters, IT, connector, CCTV, but they only took one of those 4, and just that simply isn't enough.
Definitely not, as I didn't see any vertical play either being put into there. You could have used a buck, gone underneath, tried to clear out the bandit that was playing underneath you, and there wasn't so much bandit tricking. It was pre-place the bandits, then go on a roam. As we did see Bulk, she got that kill downstairs because nobody's sitting on your 90 drone. If somebody was sitting on the drone, I'd say Fluff may have won that gunfight. But we will never know because of that situation that they put themselves in. They had a perfect drone, nobody sitting on it. Bulk played the perfect angle, played patiently, waited for the sprint down, found the kill, as now we're going to this middle floor now. This is one that you don't really see too much until it's your third or tertiary sort of pick.
Yeah, usually you're kind of expecting the bottom floor, but similarly like to Chalet, if comfortable enough, each site can be played on Nighthaven. And again, that is why it has grew onto people so quickly. It's very versatile. It's very open to different sorts of strategy, with Silly Ducks certainly displaying that in the opening round, not only with the aggression they kicked off by just Tinga's daddy going for a spawn peek, but just in general how they approached closing down the attackers later on. They show something new. Now Rizard, I'm going to be bringing out the big guns and a shield while at it. Gasai on the Blackbeard, showing that they're holding back no punches. As for Bulksip, no longer roaming, but rather focusing on her objective and tricking out the main wall.
Definitely has. It looks like it's an extension upstairs by Silly Ducks here. And it looks like it's only going to be one player currently playing upstairs. And this might be a swing from the rafters here on to Bulk Zips, as a prone angle might be played here. Yes, does find the kill. Fluff finding the kill onto Bulk. And that is your bandit off for the board. That is a C4 gone.
Verticality established. One of the more important pieces when you're pushing as an attacker, as finding Aurora in contrast to that bandit being lost. And look at this extension around kitchen and cafeteria. I mean, that is huge. It's a great way for the Ella to kind of roam around freely and have herself a very one-sided battle against the enemies. And again, isolate out the attackers from the rest. With the Nomad now gone, still gonna have to keep in mind of any possible flanks, which of course you have probably drones to do so, but you know that those air jabs just make it so much easier.
They definitely do, as Gasai, she's looking for a potential drop. And this is a very interesting last use of a thermic charge here to open up a castle door, or a castle window I should say, and the droning is going to come out. They're going to find somebody sitting all the way down in forklift on that storage and somebody sitting over in vending. These are great placements. You've now got knowledge of these 2 potential flanks that you need to watch. A lot of this vert being opened up and no real angles to be played, but Tinga's Daddy, she's in a good spot, playing deep inside as the plant is going down for Cass. But a smoke canister will slow it down. Jumps back out with only just above half her health left. But Fluff finding a
As
kill, as
retaliate.
finding a kill back. Oof.
That's brutal. Flop with a long angle. TikTok has been great around those small canisters. Rizard have kept composition as 3 players now still standing strong. The plans can be attempted as long as TikTok is cut off from throwing another babe, as it has been chucked, but no connection, as neither any damage. She falls, and all down to the major kill leader of Silly Ducks.
Definitely, but you do have a BB that you've got to fight against here, and Tingus didn't look so comfortable. Did deal a lot of damage onto her, but Cass has the angle to kill her on that door.
Good closeout. Rizard going to get this round back. And that's how you should play this floor, Silly Ducks. On the upper floor, it was a completely different story by Rizard. Now they took it from multiple directions. Now they established what is most important. And it's that verticality where they just continued gathering information front off. And again, Silly Ducks, they didn't really play along each other. TikTok was doing what she must have, which is denying the plan for as long as she could. But as she held that for as long as she could, the rest of her team just crumbled. As for now, though, we're going to be returning to the same side for Silly Ducks to maybe change things around, especially with the new incorporation of the Pulse.
Definitely, the Pulse and the Mozzie are 2 very crucial operators, in my opinion. You got the Pulse that plays underneath. They have the intel to be able to give, but now you've also got the Mozzie, which can deny a lot of the intel that your opposition's looking for. You take their drones, you use the drones against them. You've still got the BB on the board, but you've now got a total of 3 C4s. You've now got the Elemines that really knock that shield away, so you can take a confident gunfight on that, as these Valcams are very, very sneaky.
Whoa, reinforced!
Volk sips all the way downstairs, just making sure she does not get droned out and caught by Rizard, because again, being a pulse can already be enough, holding that microwave and constantly scanning, feeding information to your team. Now imagine that, but also being hunted down by a solid snake. Now, if Fluff does approach this site from the bottom floor, she might be in for a treat of a Baldy with a microwave, but again, all down to how the approach is going to be handled. As for now, though, Rizard, very similar lineup as previously. Only change that needs to be made by Silly Ducks is how they're going to keep this verticality going, and it seems like they've forced more players and a Mozzie as well into their lineup just to deny that intel gathering early on.
Definitely, and it looks like the early C4 by Tingus there is going to be a bit of a waste, as didn't find anybody, didn't get any damage, and the breach upstairs is going to be taken down as Gasai and Aurea are going to be looking for this other side. But Tingus, she finds the angle, finds the kill on Aurea. That is your Nomad gone. That is air jabs off the board, and that is a big, big threat.
Oh wow, I just kind of have to feel bad for Aurea. I feel like she's been being picked off every round as one of the openers here, especially by none other than Tingus. And well, the Nomad, she's not going to have herself any gameplay for yet another round, sadly. In the meanwhile, though, this is the verticality given off once more. Now, Tingus wants to go for that flank, but Gasai has expected her days ahead, and it's a punish as well. Now losing your major player, Silly Ducks. It is the Mozzie gone, but nonetheless, utility from those pests still denies a bit of those drones coming through. And also, Claire going to stick herself an entrance of warehouse. And hopefully she doesn't get locked there, because that's exactly the case we have here. And oh no.
Yes, it's a win-lose sort of situation when you put yourself in that sort of area, because either you don't get droned and you can play it slow, you can play patient, or you get droned out like it was just then, and you're in a pinch situation. And you've got to take on 2, maybe 3 angles.
Reaches out. As was spotted. Again, the droning from Rizard here just standing out. Silly Ducks are going to have to rely on bulk sips to carry them going into the denial of execution. We do have a C4 on that pulse as well, but it's 2 players around side who are holding it by themselves. Smoke babes are thrown, 1 more in the pocket of TikTok. Still waiting for a detonation of another. That's the second gone loose. The snake. Fluff attempting to shut down that so-called smoke, but still plenty of time for Rizard to work around.
Cass has taken a lot of damage here, as finds a kill into Gasai. You've still got your pulse playing underneath. There's potential kill for a C4 here, and the C4 goes out, finds a kill into Cass. That is another body dead, as you've still got Docky and Fluff. 2 very crucial players for the lineup of Rizards here. and you've still got to go through 3 different players. Az gets taken out by Doki via the vert. It's this is a close angle.
What do we do? Fluff gonna finally shut down TikTok. She's been waiting for that moment for a while. Well, look at the last one. They know it's a pulse. Gonna go towards a safety angle, trying to spot the last player planting, but the last one Bulk Sip saw was not the Solid Snake. It was Doki, who just somewhat unintentionally lured her eyes away, and with no C4, Bulk Sips now needs to advance upstairs and fight the final 2 players that are expecting right where she goes up. Doki is gonna finish her off, and Rizard with a second 1 round back-to-back.
Definitely a very unfortunate point there for Ticked Off. If she had won that 1 gunfight, it would have been a 2-on-1, and you could have played with the information that the Pulse was giving. But it's hard to win a gunfight against the Snake. That F2 gun is just so strong.
It is. I mean, again, Solid Snake is made for clearing players, and fair enough, Fluff did exactly that. As we go around the bands here, though, it seems like the smoke has been a bit too much of a bother here for Rizard to bother continuing with, and Silly Ducks, reasonably so. They're going to get rid of the Blackbeard because clearing out the upper floors is just too easy, and we return to that so-called upper floor, as now our site is going to be there. Silly Ducks bring it about once more. A similar lineup, also incorporating the Fenrir on Az.
Definitely, it's going to deny a lot of the quick pushes that this team of Rizards has been doing. They've taken a lot of space. They've done it really quickly. But now you've got to go through this F-knots. And those F-knots really give you that pressure of, oh, somebody's going to swing me, because it's not in a sound cue. You've lost all your vision. You don't know where somebody is. They're just going to swing you with the full confidence.
Getting to wonder how Tinga's daddy is going to kick this round off. Now, twice she has already found a borderline spawn peak once, and an essential spawn peak that took out Gasai on that ace in the first round, or second round, whichever one it was. Tinga's is on a perfect operator for her playstyle. The Goya, you place down the utility, and then you do whatever you please. Utility is going to remain if you're dead or not, and the Goya has a great gun alongside her kit, so I think she's just placed on the perfect operator for herself. And Silly Ducks, earlier, no bandit tricking. This might be something Rizard can expose now. They have 2 breachers, so getting open on that IT wall would be necessary. Would be a necessity, in my opinion.
Definitely would. You got Tingas. She's playing downstairs now. That's a lot of that denial from that storage window. As Aurea, she's going to be looking to try and open it up. Tingas is going to be in a very crucial spot. As no, Aurea finds the kill onto Tingas. That's your top fragger off the board. Oh no.
That's gotta hurt. Ash charge from below to get rid of the bandit batteries. You can also hold it further, just make sure that the bandit doesn't go for a trick, but it does seem like there's a couple of swings, and Az is holding storage just to make sure that that wall stays closed. Whatever the case, if that or not, it's a kill back, so you do eventually get a refrag here, and successful continuation by Silly Ducks, as currently an entrance towards electrical is attempted at being made. I say with good breaches towards connector, and they're establishing multiple angles at once, which is what would depend, what the side does usually depend on.
Definitely is. You now got Doki sitting underneath, trying to get those angles onto the vertical, try and get rid of those bandit batteries. But Bulksip, she's adamant on holding the wall, and you've got Ticked Off holding a very crucial spot in this electrical section of the connector. Especially on that mute this time. You're not on a smoke, as Bulksips finally gets taken out by Doki on that downstairs storage window.
Stuck around the main breach for too long. Now this is going to confirm it. Gasai alongside the support, pushing into electrical, finding Ticked Off. Heavily tipped in the favor of Rizard, as now the final 2 defenders stuck in this A site, just hoping they can find their once, and Az already picked off one. That's Doki. A second swing, and Fluff falls. Now all on her shoulders, needs to pick off the final 2 just like she did right now. And this is a very precarious situation in the hands of a Fenrir who has already displayed absolute brilliance. Another shot here. Could this be it? Cass will shut her down where she stands, in Rizard now 3 rounds for themselves.
Very unfortunate. It looked very good for Az there. She got the first kill, found the second kill, almost found the third, but I think she got a bit flustered with how the thermite was swinging and the info that was being given to her. Just take a breath. Take your ones. You had the game almost set for yourself, but Silly Ducks, they did their best. Unfortunately, losing Tinga so early in the round really threw them off for their game, and it gave Rizard that bit of confidence, but then the reswing by Az really brought it back and sort of balanced that whole round out for the rest of that, and it came down to winning those gunfights.
I mean, the second it was a 4v2, it already seemed like the grave was sealed. Although, really valid attempt by Az, we have to give her that. I mean, 7 kills currently for herself and just 2 to equalize that out and bring Silly Ducks almost to that second round, but almost won't quite cut it, as they've been returning to this upper and middle floor over and over again. It seems like, even though this map does tend to be very versatile with teams, the bottom floor and cafeteria is not something that Silly Ducks want to approach, not just yet, though. They feel like a second chance for this upper floor right now, and a bit of adaptation might be what they need for a patch-up, as Bolskips is now gonna back off towards a Scopos and Az away from the Fenrir onto the Valkyrie, so if any teammate does die, they can have a bit more live information on major points such as CCTV and connector.
Definitely, and hopefully Tingus this time doesn't die to that early kill. Plays a bit safer, because her team really needs her to win these later rounds, because she is a crucial gunner for the roster of Silly Ducks here for this round 5 of our lower bracket.
Az tempted, wanting the kill, but sadly doesn't get the charm of Tingus just yet. As for now though, Rizard, default take, gonna wait for the banded batteries to be removed so the exothermic can do its job. Take a look at Silly Ducks. They've expanded themselves quite vastly. We have Az down below. We saw Tingus around those CC stairs, while the rest of the players surround connector inside itself. And now Az going for the swing flick to the left. Came close, but again, just challenging these attackers. And you are punished for it by Aurora, who was waiting for that moment for a while. And with the breach alongside it, this is going to be a gold mine struck by Rizard.
Definitely. At least this time it's Az off the board. Yes, she is the top fragger, but you still got Tingus that's on a good spot, and the jump out by ticked off. And no refrag by the player playing on the stairs there. That's an unfortunate bit of a jump out for Rizards there, as that is your Grim off of the board. That is a lot of your intel gone now, but the Bravo drone finding a lot of gadgets inside of this connector lounge.
I mean, that was just so well timed by TikTok. She was waiting around that window. The second she hears the drone, it's the right momentum. And again, now an equalization. Close shots. Bolskip is going to take a hefty amount of damage and tends to back off. Doesn't want to leave her team in a worse situation. Going to swap to the drone upstairs, meaning she is back on full HP. And that is a good play there. But a minute remains, and Rizard, they're going to need to get a move on because they've been sitting ducks for quite a while.
Definitely, and this is not looking good, as a lot of these cameras are being switched over to the attacking side here. So that is a lot of your flank watch now being given over, as Garage has been fully reinforced, which is the play here in the best for the defense. As Bolzip, she switches back to a very heavily damaged drone. Aurea finding a kill onto Claire there, but ticked off. She's going for the swings, finds the kill, has to turn around, finding a second one onto that. No, Claymore comes out, finding another kill. And then Cass finding the last kill to secure Rizards. Another round on their attack.
I mean, just like that. It all went kaplow. Rizard, by the end stage, were looking quite endangered again. TikTok is really making sure that Rizard should constantly be checking their back, pushing into IT, going unpunished for a moment, and almost securing yet another kill around those raptor doorways. That is just brutal by the shotgun, especially knowing how to carry it well. In the end, though, Rizard, they found themselves a double through Dookie. Oh my god. Is it the double? Yeah, the double O. I don't know why. The double K, I thought it was a double O. Oh, whatever the case is. Dookie. Yeah, Claymore kill. Pop as well. And Rizard are very much still inside this match.
Yes, and Rizard, they looked confident in their push. They got a lot of the walls open, especially that garage wall. As soon as that garage wall was opened, a
Attackers
lot of
need
the
to
angles were
locate and
opened
defuse
up
as many
for
bombs
them
as
to
they
find
can.
those kills. Yes, Ticktoff did a good swing, found a kill, but then just afterwards she got a bit too aggressive as two players were sitting on the rafters. One was close left, the other one was deep, all the way in the back of the rafters. You've now got to take on two angles. You've now got to fight two people instead of just taking a one, push back to the site and play with your team.
This is the first time we see the bottom floor, by the way. Seems like Silly Ducks have finally transferred onto something that might be a bit more testing the waters than anything else. And we also see Tingus on the Vigil, which I think is going to be the perfect operator for her, alongside Az, who is on the Capcan. Now this, this is a very expressive lineup from Silly Ducks. Almost, I don't think, ever in history seen in a high-tier competitive, but hopefully they're the first that make it work.
Definitely is. You've also got TikTok sitting on that Alibi now. Now, Alibi is one of my favorite defenders. I've got a soft spot for Alibi. The clones are a big game changer at times, but it looks like the Capcan might be the first one that's found on the top of these rafters as drones are coming out left, right, and center. The first kill's going to be taken down. That is Az finding Aurora. Az doing a perfect swing, picking off Aurora there. Unfortunate with the super shorty in hand, and that is your gridlock gone. That is your flank watch disappeared as Deimos is going to start tracking her.
Oh, the death mark. She's telling us where the Deimos is, just so we know, you know. Thank you very much. As appreciated, but it seemed like Aurora was also a bit starstruck that there was someone so early on towards that IT wall. Tingus taking damage. Silly Ducks now a bit injured, but not out. Same goes for Bolt Skips, who's still above roaming, maybe even baiting out the attackers that she's rotated down the hatch. Although great time is being wasted, as in the majority of Silly Ducks are upstairs. I mean, we have around 2 players on that bottom floor. TikTok currently still retreating, but Tingus Daddy, well, what do we call this? Broken?
I think that's a Capcan down on Gasai there, up on the top floor. Unfortunately, didn't check the doorways, and that's a down. Yes, it was a Capcan trap. Now, Bulksip, she's going to look for the refrag. May potentially just play it safe here, as somebody is watching the vertical hole that has now been made. Oh, just unfortunately missed it. Didn't quite see the feet of the Deimos there. And the swing's going to come out. Thatcher's going for the pickup. Didn't quite tell that they were picking them up. Unfortunate bit of a misplay there. In Bulksip, she's got to switch back now.
So great damage to Rizard's way. And in the meanwhile, TikTok is going to pick off Kaz. Major damage. Fluff got to return the favor. And Gasai on that vendetta to take out TikTok. 2 of the roamers now gone. And suddenly equalization as Fluff is on site. Spotted by the bulletproof camera. Going to chuck an 8 its way so the information isn't coming through anymore. And Silly Ducks don't really have any preventive measures to deny these attackers of just mowing them down. Doki with another one. Claire's way. Verticality as well. So this is going to be a major pivoting point for the attackers. Rizards might just be going for the 5th within their first half of this attacking side, which would be glory established. Donkey with another one as his way. As the last one, a heavily injured Tingus trying to make anything work, but she is outnumbered, and Gasai will deliver a coup de grace for a 5-1.
Definitely unfortunate plays for the flank of the Silly Ducks there. They almost had it. They almost did a retake upstairs to be able to play on the vertical, but couldn't win the gunfights. The early take by Az, good pick, but then afterwards the team just couldn't capitalize on it. They just couldn't keep that whole pressure that was being put on at the start of it. And Rizard, they're looking confident after doing a 5-1 on their side.
You know, some of the times you'd also maybe mention that this, a normally expected half on Night Haven Labs would be 4-2 for the defense. Now, just imagine if that were to be true for these 2 teams as well, how heavily difficult Silly Ducks are going to have it on their own attack. But currently the bans are going to go just about the similar direction. So though could be we get rid of the A's for the attack. Otherwise, though, it is about a vice versa. And now, top floor. Silly Ducks are going to have to prevent Rizard from winning 2 out of the following 6 rounds. Silly Ducks need to win consecutively, which, well, if best of luck. I can't say much else.
Yep. as it is going to be the Tuber Arcade duo coming in to try and deny a lot of this main breach. As we were saying, the main breaches are a very vital thing for your attacking side. If you can deny that main breach opening up, it forces them to go to another angle. And it's an angle that's not very comfortable, which is jumping over to that connector side. Connector side, you've got a very tight angle that you've got to look through to be able to jump in, get that space that you need. And defenders are usually going to be holding it with a great intent of, no, you're not getting in.
Jammer ready to activate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just starting to try and figure out what Silly Ducks are going to do here. Overall, the playstyle of Rizard has also been very, I would say, claustrophobic against Silly Ducks. Even though you have that freedom of a couple of runouts and Tinga's going for her spawn peaks, once Rizard actually have their plan set in motion, the final few players remaining on Silly Ducks, or at least when they were on their defense, they're just kind of getting clustered in their own positions that they can't move away from, because they know if they do, they're eventually going to get carried into the hands of Rizard, which on the defense, that type of playstyle cannot be applied in a similar direction, but you know, the Rizard, you never really know.
Definitely is. We do see TikTok opening that floor very early with the buck, but Fluff, she was peeking down on it from that vertical angle, which would have been a catch-off, because TikTok looked like she was about to swing back onto it. Now you've got them downstairs. They're playing close to the window. You've still got one watching the vertical holes, still doing a bit of a pre-fire. But that's the Tubber out. Tubber out's going to get an early swing. Fluff doesn't quite find the kill here, and it's just a standoff. Not quite a Mexican one, but it is a close standoff between these two players.
And a kill here could be major. If you get rid of this mute or the buck again, the large amount of pressure and just relieved from it. A couple of pre-fires by the SMG-11. The skeleton key shotgun flashes going in, but nope. The buck is going to flash herself, ticked off. Just not the best, although Fluff hasn't pushed forward yet, so you're still fine and dandy. The breach is being attempted. Currently the exothermic and the... Of course, we hear the EMPs above going in coordination. And just like that, should have nicely confirmed. In the meanwhile, though, Rizard gets aggressive, and that allows Az to push forward, but you still have a Rafters player to clear.
Definitely is, Bulk. She's also taken a lot of damage over some side of the map. You've now got this connector being taken, and she's pushed all the way through to the connector. Open up a breach for herself, and you've now got to play through electrical and onto pillar. They've completely given up this other side of the map. Didn't quite get an angle onto somebody, but the Gasai gets taken out as she's going on a killing spree. That's 2 down for her. And Docky, she's taking a lot of damage, but Fluff, she finds a kill onto Tingus. But Bulks finds the kill back. This is a killing spree, but Az is downed. You've now got a 2v3 and a 2v4 if they can find the pickup, which they do. And a lot of players on very low health.
Oh, there's one from Bullskips. Gonna leave it down to Fluff, who's ascended from the bottom floor of CCTV. And again, this is just to keep them towards that match point. Ooh. One pre-fire is there. That's Claire gone, and you need to focus on getting this case down. But look at the HP on Silly Ducks' players. Every single one of those 3 sharing less than Fluff had just a moment ago until shot out for that split second. The pre-fire is attempted, but as the monster she has been inside this round, will continue doing so. And just like that, a 4K established, or at least 3 for this one. The R4C staining blood. And 2 rounds now for Silly Ducks to add to their name. Rizard denied of match point, but importantly so, I feel like the attackers have once more underestimated Doki behind a shield.
Well, I think the Rizards are underestimating as she is just going blood for blood, constantly finding kills each round. And it's just putting her team on the front foot, but then afterwards they get on the back foot. But then as again, she puts them back forward. And it's just a back and forth throughout that whole round. And then, of course, Az has to finish it out for her team, for Silly Ducks to find a second round. But as you said, Rizards are still 1 away from getting match point.
And it's going to stay that way until Silly... It's going to stay that way for the entirety of the regulation. I mean, currently Rizard, again, they've established themselves such a great lead within that first half. They should be comfortable for a couple more, for plenty more. Either way, though, Again, Silly Duck, they've already got a round. Rizard now second chance towards this upper floor and changing around their lineup as well, swapping away from the Denari and focusing around information gathering. You have the Melusi, which is going to alert anyone stepping inside those wubwubs, or rather banshees, and also Doki on the Echo. Now this has given me a bit of PTSD from Chalet when she was behind that shield, getting air jabbed and flashed, and still didn't fall.
Reloading.
Yes, definitely, but this also could be a bit of PTSD from when Tingus was playing on the Echo and you had those late round Echo drones just denying that plant for the late game. Silly Ducks, their lineup's looking pretty good, but you've still got to think, is the Echo going to be found out by Tingus early on, or is it just going to be sitting and lying in wait until the Echo drones are in good position?
Oh, the drone is going to slip past Gasai as the Decade is trying to protect her own utility from below. But look at Ticktoff advancing towards the entrance of Warehouse. Gonna have a good angle on this mute, but Fluff is just 12 steps ahead. How did she anticipate that? It seems like a sound call was enough to give her the exact position of this buck, and a long-range gunfight against an AR with an SMG-11 in hand. Fluff knows her guns.
And there's another one by Gasai. That is your snake off of the board very early. You should know that somebody's sitting in there. Why are you jumping in a window? It's unfortunate to see, but that's the way the rounds do go for some of these players. They think they're safe, but you'll have somebody sitting on a perfect angle to really deny you what you want.
And hopefully that's not how the cookie of Silly Ducks crumble. Currently, Bulk Sips is going to be entering in connector. We saw her pop that environmental canister, but at the same time, it gave off her position. So Cass is now going to be very alongside. Oh, you called it. Gasai from below, and Bulk Sips is leaving the field and leaving her two teammates in a 5v2, which is just almost impossible. I mean, again, Silly Ducks, they've made a lot of wonders come true, but it's the fact that they're running out of time and have nothing besides this IT wall opening to work off of.
Definitely, and you've got a dangerous player like Fluff on the other end of that wall, along with Doki on those Echo drones, or the Yokais. But Gasai, she's also got that very dangerous TCSG. It looks like you may have Cass playing all the way on the rafters landing stairs. No, it's Gasai, gets taken out by Tingus here. A swing coming out by Fluff, doesn't quite find the kill. And Tingus, she's sitting on a perfect angle to be able to try and do something here for her teammate, but still 2v4 with 40 seconds left on the clock. You have to do something, and it's either take gunfights or drone out and find the angles. But no, the shotgun comes out, finds the first one, and the second one shooting through the smoke. Oh my!
Holy, what do they feed Fluff today? That is ridiculous. And the way she started off the round with a long shot towards the buck as well, bringing Rizard to match point. 6-2 now, Silly Ducks 4 rounds behind, starting to slowly fall into the depths of this best of 3. But is this really how Nighthaven will end? Such a distance between these two teams, and now Rizard heading to this bottom floor. Gonna have to hope that Silly Ducks can still make the OT a dream come true.
Definitely. Now I'm wondering, did Fluff have some duck soup before she played this map? Did she grab a quick snack, get some energy into her, and then she's like, I'm feasting on duck? Because it looks like that's all she's doing throughout this whole Nighthaven Labs game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's just a statement, yes. She has been. And well, it's been tasting good. 11 kills. Just like Az. But then you take a look at the round differential, and Silly Ducks are 4 rounds behind. That is something we have, at least I have mentioned plenty of, but it's just the disparity here that must be felt. Hopefully those Silly Ducks aren't folding under the pressure too much, because again, comebacks are almost possible. Rainbow Six Siege, out of all the FPS shooters, you take a look at Valorant, you take a look at CS, right? You can check the economy and somewhat predict which rounds are going to be won and lost just based off of guns. But in Rainbow Six Siege, each round is individual, and Silly Ducks, the comeback is just about as possible as it would be with a 6-1, with a 6-0.
Definitely, and we have seen it come out from Silly Ducks, but it's down to, are they confident enough? Can they find the angles that they need to? Now, a lot of the vertical play is going to be played off of this, but Tinga, she's back on that Blackbeard. It might just be a push down the stairs, or it could be go through the Animus hatch in a garage here as Gasachi's playing on the top of those rafters. And Buck did open up a lot of that garage wall and gave it a lot of sound cue. Now she's too scared to really run across. I think
Tingus
Tingus
on
has-
the shield once more. We saw her
she has-
early on Chalet
yeah.
pick up the match with that blitz. On the Blackbeard, and this is not going to be good. Tried to
Oh,
redirect
no.
the C4. Fluff has caught her, and now it's more a 1v1 here.
Oh.
Approached. Fluff is going to shut down Az. She's just taking them one by one. Silly Ducks are 3 players down. And is this how the match point will end?
50 seconds into the round, you've already lost 3 of your players, especially Tingus being the Blackbeard. That's usually your crux for an opponent. But no, Fluff was ready for it. The C4 unfortunately downing her, and then she secured the kill, doing a 180, finding the kill back onto the next person, and then Aurea swinging off her contact and finding a third. But now they've still got to try and push through to find this person that's still playing in this kitchen angle, and the one on 90 Hall as well.
Oh, Silly Ducks. Not a situation that you would want passed down even to your worst enemy. Aurea from the side, and she's looking to close things out. A flawless for Rizard as they continue dominating in map number 3. 7-2, and Nighthaven Labs is theirs. GG's across the board. But this last one is going to be done quicker than expected. And your winners of today, the quarterfinals of Season 1, are Rizards.
Ooh, very, very unfortunate there for Silly Ducks, as, yes, Rizards, claps to them. They did very well to secure that last one. That Nighthaven Labs, they looked confident. They just, chef's kiss on that last round. They fluff. I'd say MVP of the match.
Yes.
Easily. She played well throughout the first map where her team lost 7-5, but then the next one she went just popped off. She just dominated that whole game, and then the third one, as we saw, she took on a 3v1 and managed to come out with her life still intact. There's nothing else to say.
I mean, nuclear, Fluff, nuclear, but that is going to be the quarterfinals. They continue going down, and honestly, I look forward to seeing them more. Sadly, Silly Ducks, they had a really good on Fortress. Again, that comeback was something that worked quite fine for them, and it gave them a second chance on Chalet that they could afford going towards Nighthaven Labs, which was seemingly a comfort place here for the side of Wizards. I mean, they find themselves so comfortable on this map that it overwhelmed Silly Ducks, but that is the match done, and does that mean we don't get to see Silly Ducks anymore?
I think there is still one more possibility for the Silly Ducks. We will have to go back over our bracket once more, but as we did state, Esoteric did take the first game yesterday, and it dropped 7 Raccoons down to the lower bracket, and now it's going to push this next lower bracket match to then put them back up to see who versus Esoteric to go into the grand final, or if Esoteric might get dropped out in the next match. But we will have to leave that to the next match. We thank you for watching this game between Rizards and Silly Ducks, and we will see you next time. Bye.